Neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
Mother's Day is coming, and you gotta show love to the mothers in your life. You know you gotta take care of mom. Plus, my wife just became a first-time mom. So yeah, Mother's Day matters, and you gotta get it right. That's why I'm sending flowers from the Books Company. Right now, get 25% off with code CANTY. Books flowers are cut fresh, so you get bigger, brighter blooms that last way longer. And it's easy. Pick the bouquet, the delivery date, and you're done. Mother's Day is May 10th, so don't wait. Go to Books.com, use code CANTY to get 25% off. That's BOUQS.com.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Like a data analyst.
Hey, what model did you use for these quarterly projections?
Astrology. If Mercury's in retrograde, sales tank. If Venus is rising, we crush Q4.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Talent Heating and Air. When you need service, rely on Talent. From system installations to tune-ups, rely on Talent. Online at talenthvac.com.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. Just like that, we're back, we're live, we're off, and we are running live from Bill Penney Toyota Service Department. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're committed to providing the care and expert service that you have come to trust here at Bill Penney Toyota. Their trained technicians have spent thousands of hours understanding each and every Toyota vehicle. They only use genuine Toyota parts to service your repair, your Toyota. Come see for yourself, Bill Penney Toyota. Beautiful day to start your Monday. How about that? 50 degrees right now. Your high today, 77. Plenty of sunballs in the air and in the sky tonight. So should be a fantastic day in the Tennessee Valley. Welcome back in, 256-576-4977. You can join us on a Monday if you would like. And in case you have not heard over the weekend, this is what it sounded last night on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
His 2-0 pitch on the way to Sullivan. In the air towards center. Over to his left, Dubon. He's under it, and he squeezes out number 3. The Braves win it. It's a sweep in Denver, and the Braves are off to their best 35-game start to a season in the modern era. That goes back to 1900. They are 15 games over 500 at 25 wins, 10 losses, and it's a great start to the road trip with a sweep of the Rockies. For the Rockies in the 9th inning, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. Final score, Braves 11, Rockies 6.
The Atlanta Braves, Drew DeArmond, the best record in Major League Baseball, the best start since they were in Boston.
Yep, since 1892 or so. They went 11-6 yesterday. It kind of set the tone for the whole weekend. On Friday, they were down 6-0. They looked like they were dead in the water, and they came back and won 8-6. And it just set the tone for the final 2 games. And they continue to swing the bats really well. Up and down the lineup. They've had some guys really step in. For some injured guys that are out of the lineup right now. And Austin Riley showed some signs of getting going, and he's been off to a really slow start. But Matt Olson's been tremendous. Drake Baldwin's been like an MVP so far.
Yep.
And Acuna even got hurt in the series, ended up straining a hamstring. We'll see how long he's out. But the pitching was solid, and the bullpen was pretty good. So Atlanta, and they also have been without Raisel Iglesias. He's been slow to get started, but they've had some guys step in and do the job, and so far so good. 25-10, best record in the big leagues, and hopefully they can keep it up. Ozzy Albies is having a much better year this year than he had a year ago. I'm glad the Braves stuck with him, and let him bounce back. I think that's been key.
That's a lot of things. Alex Anthopoulos took a lot of heat after last season because they didn't go out and make a ton of moves. But you look at that Braves team from last year and you look at the Braves team from this year, they're healthier than what they were last year. And a lot of the guys that did not and were not producing last year are producing right now.
Well, they're still banged up on the mound. Strider, he did return this weekend, and he went 3 1/3. And he doesn't have a great history of pitching in Colorado, but hopefully he's going to continue to get better as time goes on. They've been cautious with him, no doubt about it. And we know A.J. Smith-Shawver, he's coming back. He's still not back from his elbow from last year. So they're gonna get guys back slowly but surely. Chris Sale's been nails. I mean, he's been as good as any pitcher in the big league. So he's a guy that you can count on at the top of the rotation to get you where you need to go. And like I said, they've been solid so far. In every phase, and that's been key. And then they'll continue to get guys back. Sean Murphy will be back soon, and it'll be Heim's done a good job rotating with Baldwin, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Sean Murphy and how they handle that. But he's certainly going to be back soon, and so we'll see. But the Braves playing exceptional baseball, no doubt about it, and they're going to continue this West Coast swing.
They are first in the major leagues. They are first in the NL East. They are first in batting average. These are major league numbers. First in batting average, first in RBIs, first in hits, first in runs, tops in slugging percentage, tops in OPS, and they are first in pitching staff wins with 25. So those are the Atlanta Braves numbers right now. The rest of the major league, they do have a one-game edge over the Yankees for best record in baseball. Atlanta right now 23-11. Follow that up by the Dodgers, or the Cubs, I should say, are 22-12. The Dodgers are 21-13. Those are your top marks in the majors. The Guardians lead the Central. The A's lead the West. Cubs lead the Central in the NL, and the Dodgers do lead the West in the NL.
Yeah, and it's surprising because, I mean, Bryce Elder's always been a guy that's been up and down, but he's been real solid. He does have one All-Star appearance on his resume, but as we know, in spring training, Swellenbach got hurt and with his elbow, and it wasn't a complete tear, so they had to do a procedure. But he's not expected back until after the All-Star break. Herschel Waldrop had the same kind of elbow situation, not quite as severe. He should be back before, in the near future. Probably should be before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So they'll have a little bit more depth in their pitching staff. Like we said, Shawver, we'll see. I mean, he did have complete reconstruction, so he may be back at some point this year, and they ease him back in, or who knows? He may take the entire year to recover and then be back in spring training next year, because he got hurt before the All-Star break last year. And with these recoveries from Tommy John, some are quicker than you think and some aren't. So we'll see what happens. But they've done a good job, no question about that. And the Rysell injury is a shoulder inflammation. I think they're just being cautious with him. And then Dylan Dodd's got a thoracic spine inflammation. Now that's something you don't hear every day. But again, it's a credit to what they've done as a staff, that with all that we just listed. You just talked about how they lead the majors in pitching wins. They've developed a lot of their own guys. It's a lot of people were thinking that the Braves were going to trade for a big time starting pitcher before the season.
Yes.
But they decided to go with what they had and count on their minor league system.
And now it's working.
Yeah, and J.R. Ritchie and those guys are the young kid. He's come up and he's their number one prospect, and he's thrown the ball pretty well. So they're trying to let some guys develop, and that's really always kind of been the Braves' way. They spend money, but it's kind of like they're kind of like the Alabama of the major leagues. They have money, they spend it, but they try to spend it wisely. They just don't throw crap against the wall like the Yankees and the Dodgers and try to buy
everything.
Yeah.
So Chris Sale, by the way, since he's put on an Atlanta Braves uniform, from 35 to 37 years old, has been just it's been something to watch. Through 56 games, he's 30-9 with a 2.45 ERA, 169 ERA plus, a 2.50 FIP, a 1.02 WHIP, and he's an 11.4 strikeout to walk ratio. Is absolutely he's Chris Sale right now is throwing elite numbers, and again 11 Ks yesterday for Chris Sale. So he is just simply, in a Braves uniform, been money.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Doubt. All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. Major League Baseball from yesterday. The Atlanta Braves continuing to torch the field. For those that paid attention on Sunday, the Kentucky Derby, or Saturday, I should say, the Kentucky Derby averaged 19.69 million viewers. That was the most watched Kentucky Derby on record. The 19.6 peaked at 24.4 million. So the Kentucky Derby delivering on the thing. Golden Tempo wins the Kentucky Derby. And for the first time in Kentucky Derby history, Sherry DeVoe becomes the first female trainer in 152 years to win the Run for the Roses. So fantastic day there in Louisville for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, it was. It was an absolutely spectacular day. And if anybody put $100 on Golden Tempo, you can retire.
Was that? I did not see the odds going in for Golden Tempo.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think it was 23-1 or something.
I know it came from last. I know in the middle of the race, it was in Kentucky.
In last place.
Tempo was in last place, and then worked his way through.
He was a long shot.
And the jockeys brothers won. They went 1-2. First time in Kentucky Derby history that's happened as well. So it was something to. I did not get to watch it, but I did get to see about it, and it was.
Needless to say, I didn't.
I usually like to pay my. That is one of my bucket list events with the Masters. Along with the Masters is getting to see the Kentucky Derby in person.
Yeah, we. I know there was 8 hours of coverage and whatnot, and I did see who won the Kentucky Derby, but I have 2 horse racing channels that I hate on my cable, so I don't pay attention to it.
Well, they're not blocking the Braves this year.
Oh, they are.
Oh, they are.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not paying. So
I thought you.
I get them every once in a blue moon. I get them on channel 48, and then every now and then if they're on like MLB TV or whatever, but MLB channel. But nah. Don't get every game. Got to pay extra. Not doing it. So. Now, if they would let me get rid of the 2 horse racing channels and switch it for the Braves and the ACC network, which is what these rip-off artists should do, then I would be fine.
I did not know there were 2 horse racing channels.
Yeah, they're FanDuel channels that I didn't even ask for. So they don't put the Braves on FanDuel anymore. So, I mean, what do I need these channels for? I mean, it's complete stupidity. But they just try to rip you off.
It's a Monday edition show, 256-576-4977. You can join us here on a beautiful Monday. Bryan Mathews will join us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. Rodney Orr, the bottom of the 8:30. And then David Kindred will join us at 9:30. So we are stacked and packed there, especially in the second and third hours. But we'll get a break in. When we come back, we'll recap what happened this weekend on the diamond, at least on the SEC side of things, and let you know where everything is as we zero in on Hoover.
Just don't check SEC Sports if you want the exact, they're like 3 weeks behind. Whoever's in charge of that, I don't know what happened, but they went to sleep and forgot to update the conference several weeks ago.
So Georgia's not 18-6.
No. Well, they finally updated it because it was not updated this weekend. So.
Yeah, usually they have to wait a couple days. Usually, I guess.
No, they've been way behind.
Have they been way behind?
Trust me. They were
Alabama. They have Alabama as 13-11.
Is this SECsports.com that they finally done this? Somebody probably raised enough hell and told them to smack somebody in the face to wake up and do your job.
Yeah, they have Auburn at 14-10, Alabama 13-11.
It took them over 2 weeks, but they finally updated it because Alabama was 9-9 for a long time, and was 9-9 for the last 2 weeks until probably about 12 hours ago when somebody probably finally realized put a needle up somebody's butt to finally
fix it. All right, we'll get a break in. We'll talk some SEC baseball when we return. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So if you're coming in from Ardmore this morning, your biggest problem is going to be Highway 53. Highway 53 and Research Park Boulevard, an accident there in the southbound lanes, and it's creating a big problem. It's got traffic back to Douglas, and even way back before Douglas Road southbound trying to get into the Huntsville area. So be careful through that area. It looks like that one's going to be with us for a little while as they're waiting on tow trucks to get it out of the way. The only other accident we have is US 31 and Lark Road in Huntsville. It's right down the road from the college, so be careful through there. Keep those seatbelts buckled and be safe. The Tennessee Valley's most accurate traffic reports. I'm David Cruz, Mr. Traffic.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com. Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
I'm Bill Crawford, the host of The Point with Bill Crawford. Tune us in Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Talk Radio WZZN.
Welcome back. Music by Bob Seger. 7:19 on a Monday morning, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We're just hanging out, just sitting here taking it easy this morning inside Bill Penney Toyota Service Department. The doors rolled open at 7 a.m. and boy, oh boy, there was a nice line of cars rolling in here at 7 a.m. as they get a little oil change, tire work, and stuff done here at Bill Penney Toyota.
You know how many times I've seen these George Pickens highlights for them signing his tender?
Probably 27.3 million times.
Pretty much.
Because that's how much he signed
since
for.
last week. So, I mean, I'm glad that they've told me for the 27th millionth time that George Pickens has signed his tender but will not be signed to a long-term extension. Congratulations to all the original programming on ESPN. I would have thought they would have been talking about the Celtics choking against the Sixers and the Orlando Magic choking against the
they did
against the Detroit Pistons. They're blowing a 24-point lead in Game 6. They should sweep the coach out of town.
So we had 2 3-1 series in the NBA comebacks. The first one, by the way, the first 3-1 series comeback in NBA playoff history belongs to Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics back in the 1968 Eastern Division Finals against Wilt Chamberlain and the Philadelphia 76ers, by the way. That was the very first 3-1 comeback in the NBA. The first round of the playoff series makes history because it produces not one but two 3-1 comebacks.
Just to prove to you that I watched the Celtics choke their series away for the last part of the fourth quarter, it's the first time the Celtics have lost to the Sixers since 1982. It was horrendous. I mean, they didn't know what a layup was, didn't know how to drive to the rim, just wanted to throw up threes, or Jaylen Brown try to flop and throw up a mid-range jumper thinking he was getting fouled every time. It was tremendous-looking basketball.
Yeah, the Pistons do come back, beat the Magic 116-94.
Oh, I knew they were going to win Game 7. Once they came back in Game 6 from 24 points down, after which the coach should have been immediately fired by the Orlando Magic, then I knew they had no shot in Game 7.
Because you're going back to Detroit in Game 7. No Pistons shot. With all the magic, all the home court edge, all the momentum, everything,
Nope, not when you blow a 24-point lead. It's a fireable offense. But especially in a playoff, they should just fire him and go hire Billy Donovan before Kentucky does.
15 instances in league history in which a team has overcome the specific 3-1 series deficit. So there you go. 256-576-4977. This number to the phone lines. You can join us. Richard is with us this morning. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, Richard.
Morning, guys. I forgot, but the Magic hired Donovan for one day.
We got you, bud. There we go.
What's up, Richard? How you doing, man?
Hey, pretty good. I was just saying Donovan was hired for one day, by I guess, 2007 or something.
Yeah, he was. He took the job for a day or two and then went back to Florida. I think it was right after he won the second championship in a row.
Yeah. But one other, too, you had the Hawks. They didn't blow a lead, but, I mean, they got lost by 50 to the Knicks on Friday night.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that, Steve Moulton and I. Steve was down in the dumps because he's grown up a Hawks fan, and I told him, I said, look, Quinn, we're making fun of Quinn Snyder, and I love Quinn. He's a dookie, but you can't sit there and say your guys competed when they were down 61 at one point in the second half and lose by 51,
right?
And try to act like your guys played hard. The guys gave up. They gave up early. They gave up like a 35-6 run after they were up, I think, like 11-5, and then basically the game was over because they quit. I mean, they eventually just quit. It was embarrassing. I mean, it's a playoff game, and you lose by 51 points. I mean, that is completely unacceptable.
I looked at I guess I didn't sit down till kind of later Friday night, cut my phone on, and, to see what I was going to watch. And 78-29, and I kind of updated my phone, and then I looked at a text from a buddy of mine in Atlanta, and he goes, I guess I'll turn it off. So I thought the score was wrong at first.
Yeah.
I
mean, I've never really heard of that. I mean,
there was more energy in the fights than there was on the court.
Yeah, to make it worse, I mean, it was in Atlanta, so the Atlanta fans all turned on them, and they should have, and they booed them off the floor. And then the Knicks fans that were there took the place over. I mean, it was embarrassing. I mean, you can't tell me. I get sick and tired of hearing these prima donnas sit there and try to say, "Well, we got to bring the energy. It's the playoffs." I mean, that used to be a
foregone conclusion.
The intensity level is going to go up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I was watching the Celtics and the Sixers in Game 7, and they were playing with energy, but I can't stand watching the way they play in the NBA now. They don't move the ball. It's just a bunch of one-on-one BS. And
dribble, shoot the three. Shoot the three.
Or penetrate, kick it out for a three. All they want to do is shoot threes. Nobody posts up. Nobody cuts. There's no ball movement. It's a joke.
One thing, I saw an article this week, and you were talking about the Braves, about the Mets, and I think they have Soto signed to like 13 years or something.
Yep. Good
they
for
were going,
them.
They were saying, the article was, who could you trade him to? Who would even want him? Why would you sign somebody to? It's one thing, if it's Ohtani or something, but why would you sign Soto to that? I mean, I know the Mets are idiots, but but they got two or three people that are basically underperforming, that they have these long-term contracts with.
Oh, I know. It's
Yeah.
I can't, and I'll be honest, I love Ronald Acuna, but if I'm the Braves, there's no way I'm giving him a double-digit year contract.
Really? Not
after tearing both your knees up.
Historically, they don't pay. I mean, they, just like, unfortunately, well, although his agent screwed up, Freeman, left, was about the only one they tried to sign of these guys. I think the way they're playing now, I think they're going to let him walk because they're not going to pay him, that kind of money. And he's hurt a good bit.
He really is, and he's a great talent. But I mean, there's no way because he's going to want one of these, huge contracts, and he's already getting closer to 30 years old, and there's no way I'm paying Ronald Acuna till he's in his late 30s, at least. And he hasn't been nearly as durable as a guy like Freddie Freeman has been, or even Matt Olson, for that matter, who's in the lineup every day. I mean, Acuna's made of glass. He's a great talent,
right?
But there's no way that I'm paying that guy. I'd probably maybe go 6 years, but I'm not going 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just not.
You would stretch it out to 6 with Acuna?
Probably 5 or 6, but that's it. Because then
the thing is, though, you're going to have the Mets or Yankees or somebody, offer him 10. Dodgers, will offer him 10, so it's not going to matter. But a lot of it this year, they got more guys coming up from the farm team. That's like the Braves. You got 3 or 4 really good players, but then you got to fill in with the farm team, and they really haven't done it. Because last year, Baldwin was the first guy in several years.
Yeah.
They came up through the minors. But now they're starting to kind of, get some guys in that are, producing.
Yeah.
In other words, you can tell I paid my $99. I've been able to watch the Braves the last couple of weeks. So.
I got you. I haven't paid mine. I don't know if there's a package I could switch to with Comcast, but I do have Braves Vision, that capability. But right now, with the package that I've got, you're supposed to, pay extra if you want to adjust it and get the Braves Vision, but I have not.
I know my sister has it. Well, whatever system she has in Birmingham, I know it's included in, whatever, package or whatever. I don't know if she's on Direct or whoever, but whatever she's on, because she said she gets it out there. So, I broke down though. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Richard.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Ronald Acuna, by the way, he's finishing up an 8-year, very team-friendly.
Yeah.
Very team-friendly, 8-year, $100 million deal. I say team-friendly with $100 million, but in today's baseball salary world, that's very friendly. There are options for the 27-28 season for Ronald Acuna, and we're right. He is going to be on demand, in demand, however you want to look at it, after this year with a lot of teams. And a lot of teams will try to probably overspend on him. Maybe Atlanta tries to spend more, maybe a 10-year deal, 6-year deal with him. But we'll have to see how that one plays out. When he's on the field, he's worth it.
Win. You just
that's the key. Win.
You just hit the nail on the head there. And man, what I would do is he's 28 years old, and I mean he's like I said, and see if you're. I thought he was in his late 20s, so if it's a 5-year deal, and I mean, and he's got I'm sure, as you said, there's an option through the 27-28 season, and this right now is what you're talking about. This is we're going through the 26 season right now, so probably a couple years left on the deal. I would probably trade him within the next year if he's healthy and producing. I would trade him and try to get a cavalcade of young players. Because again, by the time if you're telling me is he signed, if there's options through the 28 season that they can pick up, that would put him at 30 years old.
Right.
And ain't no way in hell that I'm paying Ronald Acuna a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year deal when he's 30.
Well, I mean, I don't think he would have any problems finding at least a $300 million deal somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Atlanta, do you want to spend with your core players that you have right now? Do you want to spend $300 million on keeping Ronald Acuna in a Braves uniform?
Nope, not when he's made of glass and already nearly 30. All I'd be thinking about is Albert Pujols and playing about maybe half the season. So I would trade Acuna and trade. Don't forget, Scott. When they won the World Series, he wasn't even healthy. He wasn't even on the field.
Right.
So, I mean, and you just have to be honest and truthful about that. And I think Ronald's a great talent, but there's no way in hell I'd give him $300 million. And by the time he's through with the contract, he's probably 40 years old. Ain't no way. So I would trade him and get what I could.
Get what you can.
If he's so in demand for everybody, well then I'm gonna get what I can get. I'm gonna get hopefully the best return I can. Get some elite prospects. Maybe get a really good everyday player, and let some other fool organization like the Mets or the Yankees or the Dodgers or whoever sign him to a $300 million contract. And good luck to Ronald, and hopefully he can stay healthy the rest of his career, but I would put that at very doubtful.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I think a lot of it, too, is going to depend on, again, how much he sees the field this year. I mean, I think his market value will be determined by what he does and how much he plays this year.
Well, like I said, I don't know if the options coming up are team options or Ronald options, but I'll just say I haven't kept up with that part of it. But I know this. I would be looking if miraculously, like Jeff Blauser several years ago, he'll probably get healthy and have a great year. Well, if he's in the middle of a great year, to me, it's tough not to think about moving him if you've got an off season. In the next offseason, because I wouldn't think Acuna, you have to strike while the iron's hot. It'd be tough to trade him in the middle of a season, simply because you consider yourself a contender and you're trying to win a World Series. But to me, Acuna would be the kind of guy you would move in the offseason, because he's just, you don't think you're going to be able to re-sign him. I'm sure there's been discussions already, but I would imagine it's way too, you see all these ridiculous contracts these guys are getting.
Well, no, I mean, yes. Look at the Bo Bichette thing from the Mets. I mean, I know Richard was talking about Mets and some bad deals. Right now, Bo Bichette is not producing, and their return on investment on Bo Bichette right now is dismal.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I know that was a situation where and then Soto, he's not producing,
right?
He's always been a great talent, but he's also an A1 turd, and I've seen it. He did have the great run with the Yankees, and that's where he got this contract. But I've never thought he did very well when he was in the postseason, and I've never been a fan of his. I'm not a fan of his. I'm not a fan of Manny Machado's. Some of these guys that I've watched that have gotten these huge contracts, they don't produce in the postseason. They haven't done what Freddie Freeman's done. I mean, Freddie Freeman helped lead the Braves to a championship because he was actually there and he was actually playing, and he wasn't, on the shelf.
Right.
And then he's helped the Dodgers, win a couple more. So he's a champion, man. He's a guy that the Braves should have signed, but that, Richard was just referring to that. But, yeah, I mean, there's no question.
All right, 7:34. Let's get a break in here on a Monday morning, shall we? 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. You can join us on the other side. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. Today we'll see partly cloudy sky across the Tennessee Valley. No rain in the forecast. High temperatures warming into the upper 70s for the afternoon. Heading into our Monday night, temperatures will be falling into the mid-50s for the overnight. A little bit more cloud coverage in the forecast. Heading into Tuesday, rain returns for some of us across the Tennessee Valley.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you're craving a juicy, made-to-order burger with all your favorite toppings, it's time to head to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Fresh, never-frozen, hand-formed patties, crispy, fresh-cut fries, savory hot dogs, and topped off with an ice-cold real milkshake. Five Guys knows what you like. Come and get it in Huntsville on North Parkway and on Enterprise, and in Madison on Moonshot Drive and Highway 72. Order online at fiveguys.com or just walk in. Five Guys. Perfection every time.
Our good friend Bobby White is now at Lynn Leighton Ford, and you know what you never find at Lynn Leighton Ford? Some mysterious dock fee that can be $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. At Lynn Leighton, the price you see advertised is the price you'll pay. That's the Lynn Leighton way. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease options, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. And believe me, it's worth the short ride over to the Beltline in Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer. And what you see on that window sticker is what you will get without the hidden mystery fees. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton Ford. Find them on the Beltline.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond on a Monday morning. Oh, you got to love some of these comments that you see, don't you? Flopping has ruined the game.
Then I would ask Jaylen Brown, well, then why did you throw yourself into the first row trying to get Embiid ejected since he had already had one technical foul in the game?
Well, and look, they're bringing up flopping in the NBA right now on ESPN.
You had 33, but why couldn't you make a wide ass open mid range jumper when your team needed it down the stretch?
But flopping has worked its way down to the college level so much so that you watch a college game and half the time fouls that are called are really good acting flopping fouls. I mean, you see it now on the college level. You see it in the pro level. I mean, it's sometimes it's embarrassing when you see a foul called because you know darn well it's flopping.
All I would ask Jaylen Brown is when you're up 3-1 and you lose a series, it's called you flopped. And they ought to trade your ass for a high draft pick.
You flopped in a different way.
or trade you for some others. Or hey, I got a solution. Trade him to Milwaukee for Giannis.
Oh. There you go.
No.
256-576-4977. And we've been we've been blending in some different things, but one of the things we've talked about is, would you sign Ronald Acuna to a long-term deal if you are the Atlanta Braves, based on the last 2 seasons of him in a Braves uniform, where you've not seen him on the field a ton, but you looked up during the break and found out that it's a team option for
next 2 years.
Next 2 years.
$17 million per year, which is still well under market.
Right.
We all know that. So they have the opportunity to pick up his options now. After 28, we know that he would be able to walk regardless, unless there was a new contract extended. But within that time period of these, whether they pick up the option after this year or next, I would still think that they would pick it up and trade him at some point, probably during the summer would be my guess. Because to me, it's not a great signal to your fans unless all of a sudden, like we know last year the Braves did not have a good season. And,
right.
And Ronald was good for most of it, but like we said, he was coming off of an ACL. He made I think a return to playing at a high level quicker than people thought he would. But still, here's the deal though. You've got to, I think they had to see what they had and where he was going to be. But again, and you didn't make the playoffs last year. But if, like this year, for example, they're 25-10, even though he's hurt. Right. But he has been in the lineup for most of the year. It's tough to trade him if you're in contention, just simply because it looks bad to the fans if you're trading him off in the middle of a good run. Now, if all of a sudden down the stretch of this year you're not making the playoffs, which I hope that doesn't happen, the Braves are on a roll right now, then maybe you could consider it now. But I think what you would do is, again, you'd pick up the option and then kind of see where you were. And if he's finished this year strong and you win, then you might be able to strike while the iron's hot. You've got a good team, but you could still, trade him and supplement it and perhaps pick up more pitching, maybe a really good position player. And then, of course, we'll see what happens in the draft. But again, I just don't long-term, I guess, to make a long story short, I don't see Ronald Acuna finishing in a Braves uniform.
Wow.
Just simply because, and if I'm the Braves, I trade him because I want to get something for him. I'm not going to let him walk like Freddie Freeman. Now, the Braves were able to salvage that by making the trade to get Matt Olson and then sign him to a long-term contract, and it's been a good move for Atlanta. But that doesn't work every time. And again, here's the deal. You talked about him being what you said, potentially a $300 million player or whatnot.
I think so. I think he would command $300 million.
I don't think the Braves, unless the guy was 22 years old, a guy they drafted and they were like Acuna and they were, in developing, they're not going to give anybody that kind of money.
I just look at some of the players this past offseason that have had far less numbers, far less productivity as Ronald Acuna, and they're getting, $200 million or something. Ronald Acuna easily could get $300 million on the market.
Potentially, but again, there are the medical reports. I mean, he's had both. He's had both knees rebuilt, and so that's tough. Most have it. Now, to his credit, he's come back from them, and he's produced at a very high level. So that's to his credit, and coming back strong, and he's still a 5-tool player. He doesn't steal as many bases as he used to because of the knee injuries.
True.
But again, I just think and then there is the DH rule in both leagues now where you can extend your career by DH, and even though I think he really likes to play the field. But, we'll see. But I think Acuna right now, I think he's going to be a Brave for the foreseeable future, but I just don't think long term, I don't see him finishing in Atlanta.
All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines here on a Monday morning. We are live from Bill Penney Toyota, sitting out here in the service department where Monday through Friday They can service your vehicle 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. When you need reliable Toyota service in Huntsville, trust the expert technicians at Bill Penney Toyota. They serve Madison, Decatur, Athens, and Scottsboro. Everything from routine maintenance to major auto repairs with all the professionalism and care you expect from your local Toyota dealership. All right, let's get a break in because when we come back, we'll wrap up hour number one. We'll talk a little SEC baseball. Plenty of Alabama and Auburn notes from the weekend. We'll talk SEC next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. Taking care of your property yourself can be a real headache. Eagle can handle it for you. They offer full landscaping services, irrigation, mowing, bush hog, and can install plants and trees, sod, and even landscape borders. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer's satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com.
I should have been a cowboy. I should have learned to road ride. Wearing my 6-shoe, riding my pony on a cattle drive.
7:49 on a Monday morning. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, DeArmond. Welcome in. Live from Bill Penney Toyota here on a Monday. Coming back from break, we go out to the phone lines. Let's say hey to Justin on a Monday.
What's going on, Justin?
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
We're doing well, man.
Hey, one thing about this Braves team, I'll tell you, I enjoy watching them play. They play the game the right way. But as far as Acuna goes, you know, if they were sellers, if they say they were having a bad year, the opportune time to trade him would be obviously in July, because you're going to get way more value for him either at the trade deadline now or at the end of the year this year.
Right.
The value is going to be out the roof, and plus, and I'll say this, and I'm not saying I dislike Acuna. I don't dislike him. I think he's talented, but I'm like you. I mean, the Braves got better in the year they won the World Series when he got hurt.
Right.
I'm not believing it. I'm not saying I'm not knocking Acuna. I'm just saying that's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing with him, and right now, I noticed one thing about him because I'm a big baseball fan. I look at a lot of different things. Do you know what his batting average is against the fastball right now?
I have not checked.
It's like 180.
Wow.
He's like a 180 hitter right now off a fastball. He's constantly late on a fastball. He looks like his hands have slowed down. Maybe it's mechanics. I don't know. But he don't hit the fastball as well as he used to. Might have a lot to do with his legs being banged up over the last, 4 years or however many years he's had ACL operations. But,
that's right.
I can pay a lot of guys a lot less money to hit 240 with 2 home runs and 18 RBIs in right field. Just saying.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. I just don't believe in the fact that he's 28 years old. If you pick up the 2 options, he would be about 30 years old. But I don't think. Again, I think he'd be moved before then. But I just don't see a way, Justin, to justify. And even if you give him a 5-year deal, then he's 34 years old. And I just, I'm like you. I think, except if they continue to contend this year, I'm not sure I move him at the deadline, but I think I pick up the option and try to move him in the summer.
Oh, you can get max value. You could probably empty somebody's farm system for him.
Exactly, and then you can continue to be good. Right. Agreed.
Well, that's all I had to say. That's just the way I look at it as far as Acuna goes. That's the way I would look at it, because Atlanta is a small market team. No matter how much money they spend, they're never going to compete with the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Cubs. They got to micromanage their system, and paying Acuna $25+ million a year is not the answer for Atlanta.
Agreed, man. Good call.
Well, and you can say that Ronald Acuna has given the Atlanta Braves a hometown deal.
He did.
In that one. And you wondered, we could be saying, okay, yeah, other teams could be coming after him and stuff, but there are guys that have signed for less money and taken a shorter deal because they don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to leave, and maybe Ronald Acuna is in that boat. Maybe after this year in Atlanta does come with a contract extension. Maybe it is not $300. He could command, I think, $300, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's a shorter deal, and Ronald Acuna says, okay, I'm fine with it, and I'll stay here.
Well, potentially, but I think that's about as likely as me going to Phil Fulmer's house. And he's going to try to maximize his value.
You think so?
And I'm not blaming him, because look, Dale Murphy didn't finish his career in Atlanta. Freddie Freeman didn't finish his career in Atlanta. Andrew Jones didn't finish his career in Atlanta. There's only Tom Glavine didn't finish his career in Atlanta. Greg Maddux didn't finish his career in Atlanta.
He sandwiched his career.
John Smoltz didn't finish his career in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going. All these guys are legends with their numbers retired, and hardly any of them. Chipper Jones did, but it's pretty much it's a very short list. And the Hammer, but there's not a whole lot of things of people that finish their careers with the team they started with, and so
that's true. That's a good
point.
point.
It's just one of those things. It's sad, but it's just one of them. Brian McCann. He was one of my favorites, and he went to the Yankees. So, it's just one of those things, man. It's hard to get that kind of production from a guy, because it's a hard game to play.
Right.
And for a long time at a very high level. And, I wonder if Chipper's career could have been extended if the DH thing had come along earlier, where you could have played.
Where you could just DH for a while. Yeah,
but it just didn't happen. So, I mean, there's in most cases you're not going to see a guy finish his career with him. You could see him play the majority, and a lot of those Braves I just talked about and just mentioned, they did spend the majority of their careers with Atlanta. But
they did.
But they just didn't finish.
Yeah, Maddox started in Chicago and then spent majority his great run, his epic run was in Atlanta. It started in Chicago, but the run was when you think of the run for Greg Maddox, it's all Atlanta Braves run, not Cubs run. And then he went back and had a couple years there with the Cubs going back after Atlanta. Then, everybody knows Smoltz goes and becomes a closer with the Red Sox, redefines his role.
Well, no, he redefined his role as a closer with the Braves because he came back from an elbow injury.
That's right. And then goes to Boston.
Yeah, he went to and he was with the Cardinals, but those were toward the end of his career. He wasn't as effective. He came back as a closer with the Braves, then went back to being a starter after he did it for a couple of years because he just felt like he wanted to be a starting pitcher and that he could affect the game more than closing. But it also helped kind of cement his Hall of Fame career. But yeah, he finished his career. Unfortunately, not as a Brave, but he came back, reinvented himself with Atlanta, and the majority of his career, again, everybody remembers he was traded for Doyle Alexander. That's who they got in return, and he spent 90+% of his career with the Braves.
Yeah.
At the very end, he ended up moving on, and that's just kind of the way it works in Major League Baseball sometimes.
Well, we're moving on because hour one is in the books. Putting the ball on the tee for hour number 2. Bryan Mathews will join us. The Auburn baseball team fresh off taking 2 out of 3 against Texas A&M over the weekend. He'll join us. We'll break that down, plus some football recruiting news with Bryan Mathews coming up next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Braves 11-6 over the Rockies in Denver yesterday. The Braves have the best record in baseball at 25-10, and they're 13-4 on the road this season. The Braves open up a series today at the Seattle Mariners. The Braves are the plus 144 underdog. The Mariners, Logan Gilbert on the mound, the minus 175 favorites. The total is 7.5. That number is shaded to the under at T-Mobile Park. Elsewhere in the NL East, the Phillies have Aaron Nola on the mound, $1.18 road favorite at the Marlins, minus 102, while the Mets are $1.49 favorite at the Rockies. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, brother. Saw you call.
John, I've been thinking about our days during the war, and
I'm on my way.
Thanks, man.
If you are a veteran struggling with depression, anxiety, or need someone to talk to, call 800-273-8255. Press 1. It's private and free 24/7. Call 800-273-8255 or visit vetsforhope.com. Sponsored by the Partners of Alabama's Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care. specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by Sports Med Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 is upon us. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in. Hanging out live from Bill Penney Toyota here on a Monday morning. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. they can service your vehicle. Talked a lot about Major League Baseball there in hour 1, but there was a lot of SEC baseball going on over the weekend. And the Auburn Tigers, no doubt, if you look at their closing schedule in SEC play, it is a daunting task. And a lot of that's going to have to come away from Plainsman Park, and it started this past weekend on the road at Texas A&M. And the Auburn Tigers have they've managed to take a series or two along the way, but they've done it by winning game 1 or losing game 1 and then coming back and winning games 2 and 3. Or they've had to go 3. This time they go on the road at Texas A&M and take the first 2 against the Aggies right out of the gates.
I mean, they did a great job in College Station, no question about it. I mean, they set the tone in game 1. Now they had to fight through some weather adversity because they had to play a doubleheader on Saturday, but they came out swinging and really set the tone. They went 18-5 in game 1. And then they find a way and get it done in game 2 as well, 5-4. They do fall 4-3. They nearly came all the way back. They were down 4-0, but they gave the Texas A&M all they wanted. And we talked about Auburn's schedule being as difficult as any in the country the last 3 weekends of the SEC, and they've passed one test. And honestly, with as good offensively as Texas A&M had been coming into that series, to destroy them in game 1, 18-5, I think set the tone. And we're going to talk about that and more with our next guest. Since 2001, he's covered the Auburn Tigers. Been a part of this show since its inception in 2015. We always enjoy catching up with our good friend Bryan Mathews, who's with AuburnSports.com, which is part of Rivals and On 3. And Bryan, it's great to speak with you again this morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Always good to talk a little ball with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, talk about how big it was to club Texas A&M in that first game.
That was amazing. Auburn just jumped on them there. I think it was the second inning that they kind of broke out and just kept the pressure on, got into their bullpen early, and got that first big win. And then they jumped into game 2 and scored some runs early. And then Texas A&M brought in a pitcher that really shut down Auburn for the final 5-6 innings of that second game. But Auburn was able to hang on there. But that was big. Auburn. I think it was 4 or 5 straight series. They had really struggled game 2. Jake Marciano wasn't getting the run support. He only got 5 runs in game 2, but that was enough for him to win that game.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, and Bryan, we've talked about the fact that Auburn's had to work for a lot of these series, because you may have dropped that first game and then had to come back and get game 2 and 3, but they've still found ways to win series. This week here, you thought, okay, you're going on the road at Texas A&M. Maybe that first game might be tough, but you got to find a way to win games 2 and 3. Auburn reversing course, though, this past weekend.
Yeah, it was actually game 2 that they're having trouble winning, and they did. They got that win game 2. And then game 3, it looked like, the Texas A&M pitcher came in and threw that, 6 innings and no hit, I think it was. And Auburn finally got a hit there with Mason McCrane there in the 7th. put some real pressure on them in the ninth, but could not come up with a bases loaded knock there with one out, hitting that double play there to end it and lose 4-3. But I thought it was a well played series for the most part. I know Texas A&M kicked the ball around a little bit in game one, but you saw two teams getting after it, and again you saw Auburn, which is won 5 straight series now, the hottest team in the SEC, really continue to play at a high level, and going on the road and beating a really good team in a series is big for this program.
Yeah, and then of course we knew going in that Auburn could throw. As far as on the mound, they can pitch it. Andres Alvarez obviously did a nice job getting deep into game one, and giving him the run support's huge too, but you need to take advantage of that. And then, they did a nice job in game two as well. Really, to be honest with you, pitched well in all 3 games considering how good that lineup is for A&M.
Yeah, they gave up 13 runs the whole series, which I didn't go back and look, but I'm betting there haven't been too many games where Texas A&M hasn't scored, has scored less than 13 or 14 runs there. So, that was impressive by that pitching staff. I forgot to mention Jackson Sanders did a great job coming in Saturday and helping to shut that lineup down for 3 innings, giving up 1 run there. So, just terrific job there. It's going to be some stress on those guys. They have, I think it's 7 games in 8 days, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's 6 games in 8 days. But, they've got UAB tomorrow night. Yeah. And then they've got, Mississippi State series starting Thursday. So I guess that's 7 games in 8 days, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. No midweek game last week. Now you have one back this week. And, lots of times it's those midweek games that can keep you from doing something. How big is this one tomorrow night for Auburn?
UAB is a good team.
Yeah, and Auburn, they didn't play well against Auburn in the first matchup, so I'm sure they're going to be motivated to play much better.
Yeah.
Auburn pitching wise, they got to be really careful because they've got to let the guys rest up from last weekend. They got to go into this series at Mississippi State with as healthy a bullpen as possible. So you're probably going to see them, roll out some guys that haven't pitched as much and hope they can have some success. Christian Chatterton is a guy they're waiting to sort of bust through this season and pick up that form he had some last year. So I'm sure you'll see him at some point. Griffin Graves is a guy returning from injury, did not pitch over the weekend. So I'm sure we'll see him probably start against UAB. But it's good to get to Birmingham, to get on the road, to get tested, to keep pushing this team because they're going to face pretty adversity over the last 2 weeks here. Going to Mississippi State, another top team in the SEC, which is fighting for a top 4 position. And then finishing out at home against Georgia, which is, close to clinching, the number one, close to clinching the SEC championship here, and it's just been destroying teams offensively. Just has an incredible lineup.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I mean, we've been talking about A&M's lineup, but Georgia's like the Gas House Gorillas right now. They're just killing everybody.
They look kind of like a softball team in a lot of ways. And I don't mean that as a put down. I just mean the way they just bash other teams. It's just. They are an incredible team offensively. They hit a ton of home runs, and that's going to be a big test for Auburn's pitching staff. I'm really looking forward to see that matchup. Of course, you got Mississippi State this weekend before that, and Auburn cannot afford to look ahead, certainly, against that team.
Yeah, how do you think Auburn stacks up right now in your eyes against the Bulldogs going to Starkville?
I much of Mississippi State this season, so I don't have a good read on them yet. But I think when you have a pitching staff like Auburn does, I think that allows them to be in just about any series, right? And we've seen that really over the past 5. Even most of the games that Auburn's lost over the past month and a half or so, have been really, really tight games because of that pitching staff. So that's going to allow Auburn to be in it. Now that they've gone to some places like Texas A&M, which are tough to play, Mississippi State will probably be tougher. They can handle that pressure a little bit. We've seen that too. Although, this is another step forward or step up in that pressure, I feel like. So that's another test for this team.
Well, and I liked Butch Thompson's candor last week. He did say going into the A&M series that the last 3 weekends plus these 2 tough midweeks that Auburn has left will define their season. He said, if we played poorly, we could miss the postseason. If we play pretty well, we're definitely going to a regional. But if we play really well, we can host and potentially even be a top 8 because
Yep.
look, I mean, Auburn's got a really good RPI. When you're playing top 10 teams every weekend, if you hypothetically win every series, and then not to mention these two midweek games starting tomorrow at UAB, that's a good program. That's a good team. And then the next weekend, I know you said you're going to go to this game. Jack State's having an unbelievable year, and
Yes.
you're going there. And so that would be before the Georgia series. So Auburn definitely got some I call them opportunities to solidify yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be in Birmingham tomorrow night too for that game against UAB. Looking forward to that. But right now Auburn has 14 SEC wins. That usually is a guarantee in the SEC of making it into the postseason. So I think they've crossed that line now. And then I checked last night. I've not checked this morning, but Auburn was the number 4 RPI in the country last night and the number 1 strength of schedule. So those two metrics are going to push that even higher. I think right now the thing that Auburn can really push for is a top 8 national seed. That gives you the opportunity to host an NCAA regional. If you win that, you host an NCAA super regional.
Yep.
So that would be really big to be able to play all those games at Plainsman Park and to have the opportunity to go on to the College World Series. And I don't think they have to necessarily win both series to do that. Last year they were a top 8 seed with a high RPI, high strength of schedule with 17 wins. They might still be able to push in there with 16, but we'll see. I think they're in position now though to get there. But of course the schedule is going to be really tough, and they can't afford to get lose these games and lose these series going into the postseason.
Well, if they get there, they're definitely going to earn it by the schedule that they have left. If they get there, there's no question that they're going to have to earn this, and they're going to earn it.
Well, yeah. You look at SEC. They didn't play LSU at the bottom. They didn't play. They did play Missouri.
Yeah.
Who was the other team down there that's not usually
South
down
Carolina.
there? Yeah, South Carolina didn't play them, and I think they didn't play another team there at the bottom. But you're right. They have played a tough schedule. I think Auburn's used to this. I think it's really challenged them. I think it's made them better. They went through a tough period early in the SEC play. Alabama swept them at home. But I think, when you go through things like that, you go through adversity, it's a chance to grow. And I think Auburn's taking advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, I think they have, no question about it. And I mean, and again, the SEC, no series is easy because, like I said, Alabama, they swept Vanderbilt, but this is not a vintage Vanderbilt team. But then they go to South Carolina this weekend, and I know when you just said it makes me shake my head, but LSU swept South Carolina, and yet they've still got a lot of work to do to make the postseason.
Yeah.
Say LSU at the bottom, most people aren't used to saying that.
No, they're not. But I think that's an indication of the fine margins in the SEC now, right?
Very good point.
I mean, if your team takes a little step back, it can be a big step back because there's so much talent, so many good coaches, so many good players in this league. You really, really got to have it all to succeed in this league. You got to have the pitching, you got to have the hitting, you got to have the defense. You just can't have areas in your team which don't measure up there. So it's crazy to see LSU. It's crazy to see Vanderbilt. That was another team you mentioned that is definitely below their usual standards. So, but maybe that's the way it is now. With the one thing with NIL, it's allowed more teams to get more talent on their teams, and it's certainly got. I don't think the SEC has ever been more talented than it is now, especially with Texas and Oklahoma in the league.
Bryan Mathews joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline as well as WZZ and TV this morning. And, Bryan, you're talking about talent, and you're talking about Auburn, you're talking everything, but Alex Scolish continuing to add some talent to the football roster.
Yeah, added a receiver, Bryan Odor from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I like that he's 6'2 plus, 200 pounds. Cody Burns, I think this is a guy he just picked out, that he really likes. It maybe wasn't receiving a lot of national attention, but I think if you go back and look at Cody over his time as a wide receiver coach, he has a pretty good track record of finding guys. So I'm excited to see what this guy can do when he gets here. Excited to see what he can do as a senior, if he has kind of a breakout year. So, I think this is right in line with what they need to do in recruiting. They need to sign 7, 8 to 10 top guys, high school, and then they need to bring in guys that maybe aren't as highly recruited, that don't, demand as much of an early cost, in NIL money, and then fill in the blanks with the portal in December and January. So I think he's sort of a part of that plan when I look at it.
Yeah, no question. And then I know we said this too, to swing back and kind of finish up. As far as baseball goes, Brian, with this Auburn team and where they are right now, I think a big difference than what we've seen the last couple of years, especially, and it kind of derailed. I think it was one of the reasons they didn't get to Omaha a year ago, is the pitching staff seems to be a lot healthier this year overall.
Yeah, that pitching staff last year, they kind of had to piece it together.
Right.
It kind of fell apart at the end. I think it just got worn out because some guys were having too big of a workload, and now they've just got so much more depth. They've got their 3 starters, but Jackson Sanders has been a starter. Griffin Graves prepared as a starter. They've got a couple other guys that have been starters, so they can stretch it out if they need to. They've got so many more reliable arms in that bullpen. Guys that can come in and give you 2 or 3 innings or 1 great inning or whatever you need. So it's just a deeper, more seasoned, more talented pitching staff, top to bottom. Abe Chancellor is a guy that's really come out as a senior and just had a terrific year, and nobody was really counting on him, coming into this year. So they've had guys like that step up, and that just makes your team so much better.
And then finally, what in your mind, you watch this team all the time. You talked about that 2 to 3 week period of struggle they went through when they got swept at Alabama. Mm-hmm. They were really struggling with runners in scoring position and offensively. What adjustments have they made in your mind to get so much better at the plate?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing they've done, and if you watch those games, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of bad at bats. They've just gotten back to working middle away, right? And what I mean by that is trying to drive the ball at the middle or to the opposite field. And then, when you get that breaking ball, it speeds your bat up, and you can pop it, to your pull side. So I just think it's been having better approaches at the plate has made the difference. I also think that some guys have stepped up in the leadership role as players. I think that was important. I don't think Auburn was getting enough of that through the first part of the season. They had a bunch of really good dudes that worked hard, but were kind of quiet leaders. And I think some guys have had to step up and really take more control of this team. I think Eric Guevara is one of those guys that's done that. So, I think it takes some of those players out of their comfort zone, but I think it makes a big, big difference with this team.
No question. Well, they're in a great position right now, and it'll be a heck of a road trip to Starkville, and we know that's going to be a difficult one, but certainly, and the trip to UAB tomorrow. But a lot of opportunity for Auburn baseball to make their way into the top 8 national seeds, and like you said, the RPI's there, schedule strength, everything looking good for Auburn, and a big first step in going to Texas A&M and winning at Bluebell Park. Well, Brian, we appreciate it. Let everybody know how to follow you, and a lot going on the Plains, football, recruiting, baseball, and more.
Yeah, we are getting close, about 3 weeks away from Auburn's big official visit period coming up here at the end of May. Plenty of recruiting going on, right? This is the time of year, May and June, and the first half of July, that a lot of recruiting news happens. So we'll be on top of that, of course. Basketball portal, Auburn's still looking to add one more wing. Maybe in the portal, maybe international with Mantis over there. And then, of course, baseball, a big last 2 weeks of the season as Auburn tries to, make that push to get that top national seed. So all that more, auburnsports.com. You can check me out on Twitter/X at BMATAU.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate you guys.
Bryan Mathews, kind enough to spend some time with us here on a Monday morning. Good stuff there. Auburn baseball, everything with Auburn. Let's get a break in, shall we? 8:20 on a morning, Monday morning. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The End Zone Sports Bar has done it again. This time, they're bringing their jumbo wings, handcrafted burgers, Tex-Mex, and New York-style pizza to the Midtown District with their new location on McMurtry Drive Northwest opposite the Target Plaza. Tuesdays at the End Zone means half-price burgers, and Wednesday is $1 jumbo wings all day long. The End Zone also features Sunday ticket for all your NFL viewing. The newest End Zone Sports Bar in the Midtown District on McMurtry near the Target Plaza. Get in the End Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities. Because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, welcome back in. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Well, it's making the rounds now with everyone, and I know you and I, neither one of us are Yankees fans. We have others at this station that are, but we certainly are not.
No.
But he was also the voice of the Atlanta Hawks, I think, at one point, and he was a legendary voice. And if you've ever listened to the Yankees or any of their great highlights, especially during that run in the 90s when they were a powerhouse, of course, you would be talking about the great John Sterling, and may he rest in peace. One of the great voices in baseball history is passed away now at 87 years old. Had a lot of great calls in his career, man.
We keep losing some of the great ones as far as voices go. You know, the close your eyes, can feel every moment type of voices. We don't have too many more of those around.
We don't, and I've mocked him before, but mocking is also a show of respect because his signature kind of was the Yankees win, bah ha ha, the Yankees win. And so when they would lose, which wasn't often a lot, you would definitely
not in those days,
especially tonight, they with the great Mariano, they were not going to lose, and so again, thoughts and prayers out to his family. But the great John Sterling passes away at 87 years old.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to be joined by Rodney Orr, little Alabama football recruiting news.
Yeah, Alabama, we haven't spoken to Rodney since they got both quarterbacks. They got Elijah Haven. We did speak to Brett Greenberg about that out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's a heck of a prospect, the number one quarterback in the 2027 class. And then Charles Scott out of Richmond, Virginia. he commits. He's still in the process of being ranked. I mean, I think he's been ranked among the top 35, but it's so early in the process. But again, what's kind of fascinating is Kalen DeBoer and staff are doing so much stacking at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
They're kind of becoming the IT program for the high school quarterback, while others like Lane Kiffin and probably still Ole Miss, Miami with Mario Cristobal, they continue to stack they're the portal team. They go out and snag a starter and run a guy for a year. Alabama's kind of becoming the program that goes out and signs the prep quarterback. Now, it'll be interesting to see what Texas does after Arch Manning, because they signed Arch out of high school.
They have. They've developed him.
Yeah, and so, but we'll see. I mean, I don't, are they going to, from that point forward, they have money so they could go get somebody out of the portal, or are they going to continue to bring in the prep QB? Because I think, while I think he should be under some heat for how they performed last year, Steve Sarkisian is a guy that's known for developing QBs. So, and if Arch does what we think he'll do and ends up being a high draft pick, you would think more prep QBs would be wanting to matriculate to Texas. But, of course, you also have to have them ready to play right away, too, because there's a lot of pressure with the transfer portal and going out and getting a older guy to continue to win and make the playoffs each year. So it's going to be interesting.
No, and that's something we have seen. And we've said it before. We've said it before.
Yeah.
There's going to be certain teams that go through and live through the portal for quarterbacks, go 1 year, and sometimes it's going to work, and sometimes it's not going to work. For Ohio State, it worked because they bring in a quarterback from Kansas State and they win a national championship in Howard, right? Yeah. Indiana brings in Fernando Mendoza. And they win a national championship. Georgia has lived Kirby Smart, still one of those quarterbacks that brings them in through the recruiting cycle and keeps them in there. Kalen DeBoer going through the recruiting ranks to bring in quarterbacks. So we'll just have to wait and see how the rest of them kind of all play out in the college landscape. Josh Heupel has gone through the portal, but because of the said portal, he may end up having to go with somebody he's recruited.
He's actually tried to do it through recruiting.
Yeah.
But the problem was he didn't do a very good job developing, Nuke Lucia's cousin, Nico Iamale interception. He didn't.
He's changed from money bags to interception.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, he doesn't make as much money now because when you throw a bunch of interceptions, you have to take a pay cut. But Nico Iamaleava did not develop under him. And they were very fortunate to get Aguilar.
Yeah.
And Aguilar had a solid year for him. But Hendon Hooker before that was really good. So they've kind of been the mix. They've taken some guys out of the portal, but then he's also tried to sign Nico Iamaleava, gave him a ton of money, but he and Heupel never really connected. And now they've got a couple of guys that's fighting out that are fighting for the job. And so we'll see. I mean, I think both of them are talented. And like Vince Ferrara has told us, it's going to be a battle probably between those guys. To see, who ends up being the starter at Tennessee going into the season, because, again, they've had some attrition at the position, some transfers, but those two young guys, the redshirt freshman and the true freshman, they're going to fight it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. South Carolina, Lenora Sellers.
Yeah.
Shane Beamer is trying to do it through the recruiting ranks. Yeah. He got Shula's, but, I mean, he's staying with Lenora Sellers. I mean, he's not gone out to the portal and replace Lenora Sellers with a portal quarterback. So they're one of the schools, too, that are doing it. Okay, let's get a break in because Rodney Orr is on the other side. We'll talk some Alabama football recruiting with Rodney Orr coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm about Fox 54 Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. A relatively quiet Monday night is expected across the Tennessee Valley. We'll sit under a mostly cloudy sky with low temperatures falling into the mid-50s for the overnight. Heading into our Tuesday, mostly cloudy sky to be expected. A small chance for rain in the forecast. High temperatures warming into the upper 70s for the afternoon. We'll keep rain and thunderstorms in the forecast heading into our Wednesday.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, we love baseball almost as much as we love serving up the best and baddest burgers around. People have called our burgers totally insane. And at Bad Daddy's, we take that as a compliment. But it's not just burgers. Up first, starters like our fried pickles, wings, or poblano frites. Second, try one of Bad Daddy's giant chopped salads. Third, our famous chef-inspired burgers with lots of different taste options. And before you head home, finish up with one of our shakes or delicious banana pudding. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and Clift Farm in Madison. Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
At Kern Electrical, we're more than just a Generac generator dealer. We're your partners in ensuring your home or business never loses power, especially when it matters most. Call 256-880-1880 today or visit gensuperstore.com for reliable power solutions that work when you need them most.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Our good friend Bobby White is now at Lynn Leighton Ford, and you know what you never find at Lynn Leighton Ford? Some mysterious dock fee that can be $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. At Lynn Leighton, the price you see advertised is the price you'll pay. That's the Lynn Leighton way. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease options, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. And believe me, it's worth the short ride over to the Beltline in Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer. And what you see on that window sticker is what you will get without the hidden mystery fees. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton Ford. Find them on the Beltline.
Talking Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
All right, 8:33 here on a Monday morning. Beautiful Monday morning here in the Tennessee Valley. Right now you're looking at 60 degrees. Your high today is 77. So another fantastic day here in the Tennessee Valley. 256-576-4977. The phone lines will open later in the show, but right now need to turn our attention to some football recruiting, Alabama football recruiting specifically.
Yeah, of course, we're going to talk some Alabama football with our next guest. Since 1996, he's done a great job. He's basically a pioneer when everything started going to websites and being digital. Rodney Orr of TiderInsider.com was ahead of the curve. I'm honored to contribute to that website, and we're going to bring Rodney Orr in. As Alabama has continued to stack at the quarterback position, we were kind of talking about it before he came on. The approach Kellen DeBoer and his staff are taking at the QB spot. They're kind of becoming the, just the it program for high school QBs. And we're going to talk to Rodney about that and more right now. Rodney, good morning. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
How you guys doing?
We're doing well, Rodney, and interesting that we continue to have news from Alabama football recruiting, and a lot of it is centered around the QB spot. And Nick Saban, a few times during his career, a couple times, we can remember when he signed 2 QBs in a class, but it didn't happen very often, and it's always been considered something that was hard to do. But it's interesting that we saw Alabama bring in 2 that are on campus now in the past class in 2026, and of course in Taden Cowell and of course Jet Tamala, and now they already have 2 commitments early in 2027, including the number 1 quarterback many people believe in the class in Elijah Haven.
Yeah, they're certainly stockpiling guys, and I say that, Drew and Scott, and you know how it works. I mean, a quarterback room can be full at some point and empty very quickly because these guys transfer out if they're not the guy. I mean, that's just the way of the world now, and so I think it is wise to always try to keep your quarterback room stocked so you can have guys developing, be ready to go. And you look at this quarterback room that they have right now, even, not including those guys that are committed, it's pretty loaded. I mean, there's probably more stars, if you want to go by the ratings, in this quarterback room, I would guess, than maybe any other program in the country might have, or certainly it's right there near the top. So these are a lot of outstanding prospects, and as you mentioned, obviously they got a commitment from Elijah Haven just over a week ago. That maybe the number 1 quarterback, as you pointed out, out of Baton Rouge. Got to obviously put up tremendous numbers. Great size, 6'5", 220, has a lot of tools. I mean, and I think it's pretty safe to say if you look at the track record that Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb have, they do a fantastic job of evaluating guys that have that potential to become, star quarterbacks. So, I don't think there's any concern about the future of quarterbacks. And now you also, as you probably were leading to, the commitment of the 28 kid, Charles Scott out of Richmond, Virginia. He's another big guy. He's 6'5", 255, and only a sophomore. Again, I know he's a little bit an older sophomore, but still, I mean, he's a huge quarterback. Kind of reminds me a little bit, Drew and Scott, just physically, of Rohan Davey.
Wow. Is it that development? You mentioned the development. Is that what you think is a big key for Alabama landing these high school recruits as far as the quarterback spot goes?
I think that certainly has a lot to do with it. The success that they've had in developing quarterbacks. I mean, you could say Michael Penix. Now you could say Ty Simpson. I mean, they probably did as good a job as you could do with Jalen Milroe. And then Ty comes in, and, here he is, been waiting his turn, and, starts 13 games, I think it was, last year, or has 13 starts total, which were all last year. But so he has limited number of starts, actually 15, I'm sorry.
15, they went 11-4.
He goes number 13.
Overall,
in the draft, right? So, again, I think it's the success that they've had in developing quarterbacks, the system that they have. It allows quarterbacks to shine, and let's just be honest about it. It's a QB centric offense. I mean, historically, they're kind of the way they do things. Their track record is how the quarterback goes. A lot of times, is how their offense goes.
And I think that's one reason why they've tried to stack at the position, because, again, there's attrition. We know guys will transfer eventually, but there's also injuries, and you need to be ready to go, because we've seen if you don't have a lot of depth at the position, what it can do to a season, especially from the portal standpoint. And it's interesting, too, because Elijah Haven, a Baton Rouge native, now, again, he's committed to Alabama. He hasn't enrolled yet, but Lane Kiffin has always kind of taken a position of using the transfer portal to get an older guy to run his offenses, even though I know he got there relatively late because the kid's going into his senior season. But interesting that Elijah Haven, did not mention LSU much in the process.
Yeah, it is an interesting recruitment there with LSU, and like you said, I think Lane signed 3 quarterbacks out of the portal this year.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. So you're right. He does emphasize experienced quarterbacks. We saw what he did with Chambliss, Trinidad Chambliss last year, and now look at him. But that, and I also think too, they, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was evaluations or whatever, they did take a commitment from the Peyton Houston kid out of Louisiana. That's he's a smaller kid. He's only about 5'11".
Yeah.
But he's a guy that apparently they're really high on, so they took him. And again, I'm just not sure about the relationship down there between Haven and LSU and what exactly happened, but it just seems like he's been fairly intent on leaving for a while.
Well, and Rodney, we talk about that, and it's, I guess, when you look at Kalen DeBoer and you look at the style that they're going through, it is kind of a breath of fresh air that they are doing this through the high school ranks, that they're keeping it the traditional way, bringing in quarterbacks, choosing to develop them, choosing to get the best out of the high school level and get them on campus.
Yeah, and I think, you're seeing that basically they prefer to do that at every position. I mean, they're recruiting the high school ranks. Now, it may be that they lean more towards the portal in certain years, just based on need, whatever. Obviously, they lost a lot of offensive linemen this last year for a variety of reasons. People, Caden Proctor, for example, Cam Dewberry out of, and Parker Brailsford out of eligibility, or, decided to go to the NFL draft early. And then you had guys that transferred out, like maybe Wilkin Formby, for example, but you had to bring in a bunch of guys. I think on the defensive line, you had the same story, that you had to use the portal more. So, yes, though, at quarterback, there is a kind of the feel that they want to go with their guy, that they have evaluated out of high school, that they brought in here, that's had an opportunity to sit. And look at Austin Mack. I mean, he's been with them since he was 17 years old. Should have been a senior in high school, but he was a freshman at Washington with them. So he's been really developing for quite some time in this system that they have. So that's kind of like you said. I mean, that's obviously what their preference is and how they do it.
Yeah, it really is. And then the key, though, and pretty much, but I think every team in the country is seeing this, is it's just really difficult to create depth. I know Kirby Smart was talking about that at the Regions Classic last week, and as he was making the media rounds. Depth is very, very difficult to keep, especially along both the offensive and defensive lines, and that was even starting to happen before Nick Saban retired. Rodney, it was very difficult to keep quality offensive linemen in the program.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, and you guys know this, it's difficult to find quality offensive linemen, and because it's a difficult position to evaluate. And I heard Mac Brown, the former Texas coach, of course, North Carolina as well, but he was talking about that might have been the most difficult position for him to recruit, because you didn't get an opportunity to see most of these guys going up against, kids their size in high school,
right,
and with similar athletic ability. And so it is a tough position to evaluate, to recruit. It's very competitive both on the offensive and defensive lines in terms of recruiting. So they're hard to come by. But I will say this, there are a lot of kids out there that have the tools to be developed. And that's why I think coaching and development, both on the offensive and defensive lines, is crucial. Crucial. Because I think you can look at Indiana from last year, and I don't think anyone can question their physicality at the line of scrimmage. They dominated Alabama up front, and have dominated a lot of teams up front. But the point is this, they didn't take a bunch of high-profile transfers, big names. They got some guys that they evaluated that they felt like were a fit for their system, had the right mentality, and brought them in, and they developed them very quickly. It was really impressive what they did.
I don't think a lot of coaches in today's world want to have the patience I don't think they want to have the patience, or they don't want to devote the time to develop them. And I think Alabama's staff right now is in that category of, hey, we'll take them. If you don't want to develop them, we'll develop them. We'll take them.
Well, it's hard because there's so much pressure to win now and be good now that they're taking guys. Hey, you know what? We may have these guys 1 year. We may have them 2 years. Whatever. It won't be long. But they've got a strong foundation. They're good players. We can bring them in here. We can plug them in right away. We can be good right now. And I think there's a pressure to do that. And I think, too, maybe there's some coaches who, frankly, just don't like high school recruiting and don't like the process of having to develop guys. It makes their jobs, I don't know if it's easier is the right word to say it, but it certainly is. It's a more of a challenge, I think, to bring these guys in from high school, develop them over a period of time, and have them ready. Because, too, now look at this. What if you develop a guy a couple of years and he bolts from your program? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you've invested this time into him. And I give you an example at Alabama on the defensive line. I thought that, Keon Keeley was a guy that had a chance to really emerge this coming year for Alabama's pass rusher. And now he's at Notre Dame. So, it's just a complicated thing in terms of balancing the portal and high school recruiting.
It really is, and it's going to continue, and it's interesting. But I think Alabama has also decided that they wanted continuity, because we all know, Rodney, you followed as close as anyone, that Penn State and Michigan were going to come hard after DeBoer, and they had a year where they showed improvement and gotten better. And you're kind of at a fork in the road. You have to decide if you're going to, that you're going to commit to this coach long term, or are you going to potentially allow him to leave? But with coaches leaving and or being dismissed, we all see the chaos that brings with rosters and the turnover you have, and then how it affects even high school recruiting. And in Alabama, I think they chose to invest in Coach DeBoer, Coach Courtney Morgan as the general manager as well, getting him another raise, because they've been bringing in good players, and I think Alabama's been on a nice trajectory. And yet there's still some people that are impatient because of what others are doing, but I just don't see Alabama ever being a Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, LSU, and putting together $40 million rosters. But I just named all those schools, and none of them won squat last year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, again, I do. I see both sides of it. I think Greg Byrne was in a situation where, here's a coach that improved, like you said, from year 1 to year 2. They won 11 games. They played in the SEC championship. They won a road game in the playoffs. So there was progress, certainly progress. You could see it. And there were a lot of challenges. I mean, I know that they had a beat-up football team at the end of the year. Everybody did. A lot of teams did. So, but here's the thing, too. On the flip side of that, I think Alabama fans, they want to see some consistency in performance.
Right.
You come out last summer, you're hearing all these glowing things. There's a lot of confidence. And I think it's a difference between Saban. Saban was low profile. He was always keeping people level-headed, so to speak. And, but there was a lot of optimism in the building last year coming out. And they flopped against Florida State. Of course, they made the great turnaround. And then at the end of the year, they just collapsed. And I think Alabama fans say, hey, you know what? We got to be more physical. We got to be mentally tough. And we got to play with some consistency. And I think that's going to be a challenge to improve that run game, play with physicality at the line of scrimmage, and, play with consistency each and every week.
No doubt. Well, good stuff, Rodney, and great intel in recruiting. I know it's going to roll on. Matter of fact, by the end of this month, visits are going to start up. I know late May and then early June, there's going to be a lot of kids on campus, and most schools in Alabama is no different. They want to get a lot of that hay in the barn, by the end of June, and then work on keeping that class together, and then even start working on the next one. And then, of course, as you know, in the draft with the end of the season approaching, you have to see who you're going to lose in the portal, who may turn pro, and then it turns back to making decisions in the portal. But let everybody know about how to follow you and all your coverage of the Crimson Tide.
Right, it's TiderInsider.com. It's only $48 a year. You can get instant access right now with your credit card. If you prefer, there is an address there to send a check. Gives you all our premium information, which includes our all sports forum. Of course, there's a lot of exchange there. We discuss things back and forth, whether it's Alabama football, basketball, recruiting, the portal, all of those things. Basketball has become really, it's amazing the discussion there that Nate Oates has generated with his program.
No doubt. Well, Rodney, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time.
Okay, guys, take care.
All right, Rodney Orr, kind enough to spend some time with us here on a Monday morning via the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Let's get a break in, and we'll wrap up hour number 2 when we return.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all, with features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
No Wi-Fi?
How are we going to stream the game?
Mom, I have a research project due.
How are we going to make dinner? Don't let power outages send your family into a meltdown. Get a Generac generator from Current Electrical. We keep your lights on and your Wi-Fi on. Visit gensuperstore.com or call 256-880-1880. Trust us, your family will thank you.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
.53 on a Monday morning. Welcome back into the program. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the show. Just about ready to say goodbye to hour number 2 and hello to hour number 3 here on a Monday morning. and plenty of stuff to get through. By the way, we totally glossed over that today is May 4th. So
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. Yes, exactly. See?
All right.
Yeah, we only get to say that once a year.
Yep.
Coming up, though, we're still not done with a lot of the stuff and a lot of the show. Coming up in hour number 3, with the bottom of the hour, we'll talk some Alabama baseball as they get a series sweep against Vanderbilt over the weekend, and kind of run down some of those SEC baseball standings, plus the Big Ten.
They're finally updated.
Plus, the Big Ten has put out how much money they're going to distribute and how much money the schools are going to make, and it's an absurd amount of money for the conference.
They're not investing it in baseball for sure, though.
They are not investing
softball.
it in baseball or softball right now.
Well, they suck in both.
But anyway, I can tell you the SEC.
And don't give me this crap about UCLA being number 1, blah, blah, blah.
Are they still number 1?
They're only number 1 because they play in a terrible conference and they don't get challenged. So
I believe they.
I don't think they deserve the number 1 overall seed myself, considering that they don't play anybody. Oh, and breaking news from our good friend Wizen back in the studios, Brody. And I would have fired this guy, and it'll be interesting to see if Billy Donovan is hired. But the Orlando Magic have made a coaching change after their historic collapse.
That's a shock, is it not?
There we go.
We have not heard that in a while.
We have not.
Because I mean, we just have not had an opportunity
now,
to fire
anybody. Now, this is not going to shock anybody. I don't know who that is, by the way. I don't know who 75% of the NBA coaches are.
Let's see here.
Orlando Magic head coach.
Yeah, so you're having to Google it yourself.
Jamal Mosley.
No, actually it was Jamal Mosley. Jamal Mosley.
Yeah.
But he was only the head coach, though, I believe, for
5 seasons.
Yeah.
He just got fired, and we'll see if they put Billy on speed dial again.
Well, because 72 hours. Billy Donovan was the head coach for 72 hours with the Magic back in 07.
2 or 3 days,
yeah, 72 hours. All right.
Or does he want to go to Kentucky and help him not suck?
Nah, he's not going to sit out a year.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Hyundai Decatur, located on the Beltline.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. Hour 3 is upon us. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the program. We're live from Bill Penney Toyota. Big thank you to Talent Heating and Air for helping us get the show going this morning. Big thank you to Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. 256-881-5151 to experience the Sportsmed difference. Talent Heating and Air, talenthvac.com, 256-503-4490. They got a lot of talent just waiting to do some work for you. And they can indeed. As we finished hour number 2, we talked about the Orlando Magic. They have dismissed Jamal Mosley.
Who?
I know. He finished after 5 seasons, including 3 consecutive playoff runs from 23 to 26. They had a first-round elimination for the 3rd straight time. This year, and this year was a little bit more saltier because of the fact of being up 3-1 against the top seeded Pistons.
They were supposed to lose, but when you're up 3-1, and then in Game 6 at home, you're up 24 points.
Yeah,
24, and you lose. You shouldn't even have coached Game 7. You should have been fired. I mean, as soon as you lose Game 7 by 22, you're done. And so, I'm sorry, but not even really familiar with Jamal Mosley because, again, I don't closely follow the NBA in this era because I hate it. But still, I mean, it was amazing just seeing that they lost, that they blew that 24-point lead, even though that's become much more common. I mean, back in the day it was not because guys played hard. And a lot of times there wasn't those kind of deficits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I never would have in my wildest dreams ever thought I'd see somebody in a Game 6 on their home floor trying to force a Game 7 after they had led a week ago 2-1, lose by 51 points. I already said Quinn Snyder should probably be gone, and then at the very least, these players need to be held accountable for not playing hard and not giving effort. Do not try to tell me that these guys played hard and lost by 50 points.
I don't think you
did.
did.
That's ridiculous.
If you did, there's something really wrong, right?
That means you all suck and you should all have your contracts canceled. And just basically you don't deserve the money you're being paid.
Caden Magwood, former Auburn Tiger, looks like he is going to head to Murray State.
Probably a good fit for him. I mean, Murray State's a really, really good, mid-major program, and he didn't play a ton for Auburn, but as you know, he got a chance to play probably the most he's played in the NIT run. Had a couple of big games early, helped him come back in that game against South Alabama, made a bunch of threes, but probably a good fit there for Magwood to be able to get on the floor.
All right, 256-576-4977 if you would like to join us here on a Monday morning, Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I mentioned the Big Ten. They surpassed a previous high mark for revenue by $540 million. The Big Ten generated nearly $1.47 billion, and it will distribute $1.37 billion to its 18 members. $1.37 billion to its 18 members. Now, not everybody gets the same amount of money, but that distribution amount is higher than the SEC and the Big Ten. The Big Ten is 1, the SEC is 2 in revenue and money. Just how big of a disparity is it between number 1 and number 2? The Big Ten will distribute $340 million more than what the SEC will.
Congrats.
Ohio State will secure the most. Ohio State will get a revenue share of $91 million from the Big Ten. Penn State will earn the second at $88.9. Indiana will get a check for $81 million, while 13 other members collected anywhere between $76 and $79 million. Oregon and Washington only receive partial shares until 2030 because of that move from the Big 12 to the Big 10.
You mean the Pac?
Or Pac-12, yeah, not Big 12. Pac-12. Yeah. They get $48 million and $46 million respectively.
Well, with Penn State racking in all that money, if I'm Thomas Allard, I'm going to ask, where's the money at?
That's right. Thomas Allard going to Penn State.
If I'm coming to play for your sad sack program because you need players, where's my money?
You better be getting something.
Yeah. But you know what's so funny about Penn State and Ohio State? Penn State's good at nothing right now, except unless it's wrestling. I don't really know.
Yeah, wrestling is like the 500-time state or national champion.
They're really good. But
Cale Sanderson has it going on big time there at Penn State.
But do they? But they suck in football right now.
Yeah, they're going through a coaching change.
We'll see.
James Franklin out, Matt Campbell in.
Yeah, I think if Matt can turn, I think he's going to turn around. But right now they're not very good. And then Ohio State's only good at one thing.
What?
Football.
I was going to say lying.
No, football. They're good at football. They're not good at anything else, but they're good at football. Congratulations. Basketball's extremely mediocre.
Yeah.
And, baseball,
baseball.
Why do they play? I mean, softball, their best players go to SEC schools because they want to win. So, they're good at one thing. Congrats.
UCLA, in case you are wondering, still on top of the baseball polls.
Basketball.
North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Texas, and Georgia. Those are the five. Your highest-ranked Big Ten team outside of UCLA.
Right.
In the top 25 as far as baseball polls go.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of UCLA, you got to go all the way down to... Let's keep going. We're not at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Nebraska there at number 16 as far as Big Ten baseball schools go. They're number 21 in the latest poll. That's it.
Which means they're starting to suck.
Three Big Ten teams in the top 25. Oh, but that'll get us a call from JetBlue if we keep saying that nobody wants to go play in the North. So that's why they don't have more than 3 teams ranked in the top 25. So we better stop that talk because
we
don't want
to get Bill Penney and assault me and then get arrested.
Let's get Brandon on the phone lines real fast this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Well, the 23-1, have they released if anybody had any big money on that horse?
That's a great question. We kind of talked about that at the start of the show when Scott was talking about the
Kentucky Derby.
And I was like, well, if somebody put 100, they can retire because that's pretty long odds. And then he was in the back of the pack and ended up winning it.
And he was not just – that horse was not just in the back of the pack.
Right.
That horse was bringing up the rear.
Oosh.
I mean, there was a gap between them, the field, and that horse.
Man.
At one point.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me that horse could really run. It just don't want to run unless it's running against other horses.
Golden Tempo, the name of that winner.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's crazy money. Crazy. Mm. And, I thought Friday night was going to be the biggest comeback of the weekend. Wrong. The Braves. I thought that was going to be the biggest comeback of the weekend. That horse.
Yeah, I know. With the Braves being down 6-0 and digging that hole early and then coming back and winning 8-6. That was a pretty remarkable comeback. I will admit I did not see that one coming.
Oh, Mullet Man Holmes, dear Lord, he threw, 45, 50 pitches in the bottom of the first inning?
Yeah.
I don't know the last time the Braves pulled a starter in the first inning. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
They let him hang out and get it done. So, I mean, that was one to sweat to right there. You're just thinking, holy crap.
I know.
And then, in the middle, I got robbed in the middle of that game, so that was not funny. And went to sleep, Scott, in about the middle of the second inning, woke up, and my dog had eaten my steak off my plate while I was asleep.
The other day I was sitting at home and I had a chicken salad croissant on the plate, and I'm sitting there watching TV, and I just turned to get a blanket, and our dog knows not to do that sometimes, to grab food off the plate like that.
Right.
But old Butter, he grabbed that old chicken salad sandwich and he took off. He didn't even wait around for me to yell at him. He just took off. He's like, if I'm going to get this, I'm going.
This is my chance.
I know I'm doing something wrong, but this is my chance. I'm going to go.
Yeah, they'll never catch me.
Took a damn half chicken salad sandwich off my plate and kept going.
He kept going. He gone.
He gone.
Well, whoever posted that video that I sent Drew, the running of the porta toilet.
Oh, my Lord. That was unreal.
I want to go do that with LSU Lynch. But if I was to get hit across the jaw like that one guy did, I have a do not resuscitate order because I don't know how that guy got up. I mean, they threw 300 beer. They threw 300.
They were throwing loaded. They were throwing full cans of beer at him, Scott, as they were trying to run across the porta.
I saw that. I saw that. Only at the Derby. I don't want to say only at the
One
Derby
of them
because
made it at least halfway before he got hit with a few that we ended up having to dive off. But
going to the Derby. See, if I want to go to the Derby, I don't want to be on the infield. I want to be in the stands. I want to sit in the grandstands and I want to watch the Derby from
Brandon
the grandstands.
was told stories about the infield, so that's
well. I mean, the infields are crazy. those horse racing infields are.
I heard they're crazier than NASCAR.
Yeah, some of them can rank right up there apparently.
I'm gonna go check it out and to see how it is. I may go next year. Now I'd like to be in the stands too, but those are like one seat there is like Bama season ticket money.
Yeah, they're not. It's not cheap. It's not cheap by any stretch. But somehow, some way, I'll find my way into the grandstands eventually.
So the Braves are off to their best start ever, and
yes, they are.
Guys hurt, and this team appears to be a really good team. I actually didn't expect this rotation to be as good as it's been, but these bats have been alive, and we're hitting. And I'm hoping that we can continue this on. I don't want us to peak too early. But, I mean, Michael Harris is hitting really good. I mean, they're DHing him trying to get that quad right, and, then Acuna's out for a little while. But it appears that the hitting of the ball that we had a little bit of a problem with last year, we're doing a lot better with that.
Yeah, and it also appears, I think, too, I'm not taking anything away from the Braves and their start and how they're playing, but the rest of the NL East right now is atrocious.
Agreed.
And so this Braves division, the lead that you have right now in this division is, I'm not saying there is so much baseball left to play, but Atlanta's lapping the field in the NL East right now.
Well, and I'm wondering if we could continue this pace to, say, July the 4th, what's the earliest this division's ever been put away?
That's a great question. I mean, when the Braves won about 13 in a row, I think in many cases there were times in early August that they pretty much had it salted away for the final 2 months. But that's when growing up and being able to be blessed to watch those Braves ball clubs. I think probably the earliest I can remember was probably sometime in August where you felt like the division was over.
Right.
And the Braves already had it locked up.
You're looking right now. We're just early in May.
Yeah.
And you have an 8.5 edge lead over the Marlins. The Braves are, the 15 games over 500. Marlins are 2 games under 500. 4 of your 5 teams in the NL East are below 500. Marlins, Nationals, Phillies, and Mets. The Mets are 12-22 right now. Raise your hands if you had that one at the beginning of the year.
I love it. I don't know who that fat guy is, the redheaded dude that screams, that has the meltdowns, but that guy is entertaining.
He really
loses his mind. I don't know who he is, but I have laughed and laughed at that guy. I mean, he's done everything but do the Drew DeArmond fire everybody, and at this point, they may end up doing that. So, I can see this team. This team should win unless the NL East is just really, really that bad. I don't see why they couldn't win 110 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
That's true.
Very, very, very realistic.
All right, Brandon. Thanks for the phone call, bud. Brandon talking about that Kentucky Derby. By the way, Golden Tempo at one point was 25 lengths behind.
Man.
25 lengths behind the field.
Lord.
I mean, and you watch it on video. I don't know how many times I've seen the fact that where the lead horse is and where Golden Tempo was at one point, and you're just like, it was an amazing comeback. All right, 9:15 here on a Monday morning. How about we get a break in at 9:15? Talking Ball will return live from Bill Penney Toyota in just a couple minutes.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Look at fitting that we come back on a Monday morning, May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Yep.
I always remember watching that first one as a kid. The
Oh, yeah.
very, very first one.
Yep, absolutely.
And
Star
scared
Wars.
to death of Darth Vader.
Lo-
Scared to death of Darth Vader. I mean, the voice, just how mean he was. Oh, man, just terrified me as a young kid.
There you go. Love me some Darth Vader.
Terrified me. Anyway.
That's what I considered Alabama under Nick Saban, and I loved watching them crush people.
Just
there you go.
256-576.
Remember, he didn't have to touch it. He just had to,
He just had to do it. It was Jedi mind tricks.
There you go.
Jeremiah Haynes named new head varsity girls basketball coach at Gunnersville.
Yep.
School announcing that a short time ago.
He spent 7 years at North Sand Mountain. Did a great job with the Lady Bison. They won their first 2A first state championship in school history on the girls' side, 41-28 over Cold Springs in an all-North Alabama final in 2A. And now he takes over for Kelly Robinson, who spent the last 3 years at the helm of Gunnersville. Took over for Kenny Hill, who won a state championship, came over from Scottsboro, had coached the boys, then came over to coach the Gunnersville girls. And now Robinson taking a job closer to his home in Coleman. And they go out and they hire Jeremiah Haynes, a state championship guy. And it sounds like if they want someone that's going to provide stability, and they've had some turnover in the girls' program from a coaching standpoint. They want somebody that's going to be there for a while and that can build up the programs and all the way down to the junior high program and have some stability and have kind of one voice with the girls' program. And it sounds like Jeremiah Haynes is going to be that guy for Gunnersville, as he was just named head coach.
All right, 256-576-4977. You can join us here on a beautiful Monday morning. We talked to Bryan Mathews about Auburn baseball and where they stand. Just to update everybody, though, as the regular season gets ready to wind down. Right now, Georgia, Texas A&M, Texas, and Auburn would be the 4-team. Well, according to the SEC, now I don't know about the tiebreaker rules as of today.
Yeah.
But Auburn and Mississippi State right now, just to tell you how big of a series that is coming up this weekend. Both of them are 14-10 in SEC play. The SEC has Auburn listed as number 4, Mississippi State listed as number 5 on the standings. And I don't know if tiebreakers or anything like that, if the conference tournament started today, if Auburn or Mississippi State would get the double bye there at Hoover, or which one would get it. But right now, as of listed here, Georgia, Texas A&M, Texas, and Auburn would be your top 4. Those ones would get that double bye into the baseball tournament. Mississippi State, Alabama, Florida, Arkansas, and Ole Miss would be your next group. Alabama, Florida, and Arkansas all sitting at 13 and 11 in the conference. So 6, 7, and 8 is 13 and 11. Ole Miss there at 12 and 12. Oklahoma at 12 and 12. The bottom of the bracket has not changed. Missouri, South Carolina, LSU, your bottom 3 there. But if you take 6 through 12, just 2 games separate those two between 6 and 12. Alabama at 13 and 11, Florida, Arkansas. Then you got Ole Miss at 12 and 12, Oklahoma 12 and 12, Kentucky, Tennessee. They're at 11 and 13. So, I mean, a lot can happen. A lot can happen in these final 2 series.
Yeah, they can, no doubt about it. And we'll see. There's a lot at stake. There's a lot of jockeying and position going on. We're going to talk to David Kindred. Does a great job with SEC Network Plus and on the Crimson Tide Sports Network with Roger Hoover of calling Alabama baseball. And certainly he was on the call for the 3-game sweep of Vanderbilt. It helped Alabama get some momentum. Now they've still got to take advantage of it and keep it up. They've got they're going to be on the road all this week. Tomorrow they are on the road. It'll be really their last midweek game of the year at Troy. And then they will head to South Carolina and Columbia. Monty Lee's the interim coach for our good friend Paul Maneri. They're not having a good year. They just got shellacked in Baton Rouge as LSU seemed to put it all together. To me, Alabama needs to go 3-1 this week at the very least if they want to continue the momentum, get to 15 SEC wins. And I think for them last year they went 16-14 in the SEC, had a really good RPI and strength of schedule, but they basically finished as the 17th seed. Did not get a host seed, got shipped out to Southern Miss. We all know what happened. It was one of the toughest regionals. Southern Miss hosted it, but didn't win it. It was the 3rd seed Miami who ended up upsetting everyone and winning that regional. But Alabama was considered, I think, the next host, but didn't get it. So if Alabama wants to be in conversation about hosting, they're going to have to win the next 2 series, in my mind, beat Troy, finish the year in their last 10, 7-3. And if you get to 17 wins in the SEC going into Hoover, then I think you've got a good chance at being a host. Top 8, I don't know, because I think their RPI is going to be in the top 10, but I don't know that they'll, unless they do some major damage in Hoover, I don't know that they'll be a top 8 national seed. But I think they would definitely have a chance to host, which would be big. And, of course, when they hosted about 3 years ago, they won their regional as the 16th seed, but we all know what happened. They got sent to top seed Wake Forest and got shellacked, but it was still a great run by Caden Rose and all those guys, and Andrew Pinckney. But we'll see. I mean, I still think they have an outside chance to host, and otherwise they'll end up a 2 seed. But they need to win these next 2 series, and they need to avoid – Troy's a pretty good team, but they're not having as good a year as a Jack State or a UAB or even a South Alabama. So if you're Alabama, you don't need to drop a midweek game to Troy. You need to continue to build your resume.
Well, and the good thing is, I mean, look, South Carolina, you look at the standings, and South Carolina has struggled 7-17 in league play, but those 7 wins, one of those has come against Texas.
No, they're capable.
I mean, they've managed to take one, but I mean, if you're Alabama, though, I mean, at least you do get a South Carolina team where if you come in and cut down the errors, don't have the errors, go play clean baseball, you have a good chance to make it back-to-back weekends with a sweep or taking 2 out of 3 easily. All right, let's get a phone call in here real fast. Pat is with us this morning. Good morning, Pat.
What's up, Pat?
Good morning, guys. Guys, at the end of this month, Bama Sales is coming into Tuscaloosa. But Yahoo Sports and Yahoo, not Yahoo, Yahoo. The Yahoos this morning. They're trying to say that Bama Sales is an in-state person in Indiana. He's from Alabama. His whole family's from Alabama. Do these people not study any history at all before they go writing crap down?
Well, he does have tons of family from Alabama. There's no doubt about that, Pat. He's played his high school football at Lawrence North in Indianapolis, and so they're going to consider him an Indiana recruit, an Indiana kid, because that's where he matriculated and where he's played his high school career. Again, but you're right. He has a lot of connections, a lot of family in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, well, I was born in Alabama, for God's sake. No matter where I lay my head, my home's in Alabama. Come on. But I got crimson-colored glasses, Drew.
Well, they wear crimson, too. As far as Indiana, Oklahoma, and Alabama pretty much have the same team colors.
Yeah. But anyway, I feel good, though, being that we just locked up this hotshot quarterback, Haven out of Louisiana. I think that's going to be a tremendous draw to be able to come in and look forward, because he's already got real good quarterbacks. A wide receiver's going to come in and play. Haven is going to come in and sit on the bench for a while.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good players. I wouldn't expect Haven to start certainly as a freshman, and I think, but hopefully, he and a lot of his inner circle understand that. And I actually think Ty Simpson waiting his turn and then taking full advantage of his opportunity and becoming the 13th pick in the draft and the quarterback of the future for the Los Angeles Rams, it's probably helping Alabama in a way, because these kids understand that even if they're not starting as true freshmen or as even redshirt freshmen, if they stay the course and they and follow the development, and of course they're going to be compensated as well, but if they if they understand that they're going to be developed and given a chance to, when they get their opportunity, to ascend quickly and become pros, I just think that's going to work in Alabama's favor. They've kind of proven they know how to definitely develop the high school QB.
Gotcha. Hey, you have a blessed day, and like I said, I'm looking really forward to the end of this month. Hey, it's going to be Christmas.
Yep, a lot of good recruits coming to campus. No doubt, man.
Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, Pat. All right, 8:29. Let's get our break in here real fast. When we come back, we'll switch it to the Diamond Talk.
Stephen A is bad, but nobody can. I don't think anybody's going to top Malik Willis.
Malik Willis's first pitch is.
They were showing Pat Mahomes' it was pretty bad, but his was a lot closer than Malik's. I'm hoping that's not foreshadowing of what he's going to do as the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins.
He missed that thing by not even close.
I mean, he missed that thing worse than Hugh Freeze hiding a burner phone.
He threw it closer to the concession stand than he did the home plate.
Almost. Maybe he almost hit some highfalutins behind the plate.
Let's get a break in. We'll try to go from mound to home cleaner than that with Talkin' Ball next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 Weather Impact meteorologist Emily Owen. Today we'll see partly cloudy sky across the Tennessee Valley. No rain in the forecast. High temperatures warming into the upper 70s for the afternoon. Heading into our Monday night, temperatures will be falling into the mid-50s for the overnight. A little bit more cloud coverage in the forecast. Heading into Tuesday, rain returns for some of us across the Tennessee Valley.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Our good friend Bobby White is now at Lynn Leighton Ford, and you know what you never find at Lynn Leighton Ford? Some mysterious dock fee that can be $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. At Lynn Leighton, the price you see advertised is the price you'll pay. That's the Lynn Leighton way. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease options, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. And believe me, it's worth the short ride over to the Beltline in Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer. And what you see on that window sticker is what you will get without the hidden mystery fees. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton Ford. Find them on the Beltline. Tom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those two-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
Hello,
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The SEC is kind of like the wild, wild west.
The good, the bad, and the ugly at times, yeah.
Yeah, it can be. But I tell you, I'm looking at the standings, and the one thing that keeps coming to my mind is Texas A&M and Texas did not get to play that third game because of the weather.
Yeah.
Both of them are 15-8 right now in league play.
A&M had won the first two.
And, and so it's like, okay, that one, I don't know if it's just going to come back to haunt them or not, but Alabama 13-11, fresh off a series sweep against Vanderbilt this past weekend. Now they get South Carolina, who's at the bottom of the SEC standings. You've got momentum coming out of that series. You got to take it to your midweek game, and then you got to take it into a series with South Carolina that if you do everything, I mean, on paper, if you do everything you're supposed to do, you should be able to at least get 2 out of 3, if not 3, from South Carolina.
Well, I wouldn't assume anything in this league. When you start doing that, that's when it reaches up and bites you. Certainly, Alabama has a great opportunity after sweeping Vanderbilt for the first time in 17 years. So it's been a long, long time because of the program that Tim Corbin has built and the consistency. But Alabama was able to get hot this weekend and win 3 in a row. They did not have a midweek last week due to finals, but they head into this week with a lot of momentum, starting with Troy tomorrow night on the road, and then they go to South Carolina to face Monty Lee's Gamecocks. But Alabama was still a ton to play for, 32-16 overall. And as we said, 13-11 in the SEC. And we got our next guest on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and WZZN TV. He did a great job for the SEC Network and the Crimson Tide Sports Network calling Alabama baseball, and that is David Kindred, former Crimson Tide baseball player. This will be his second appearance with us, and we're going to talk some Alabama right now. David, welcome back to the show. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Good morning, Drew and Scott. Looking forward to it. I guess it wasn't too bad the first time. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, we had you last time. The Tide was hot. They had a really good weekend, and it all kind of started. There's always these turning points, but they were in a little bit of a hole on Thursday night. It was 4-1. They were being shut down a little bit, but they were able to get a big 3-run homer by the young freshman who's done such a great job for Alabama. And tied the game at 4. And then John Lim, who's had some bright moments for Alabama, just a huge walk-off. And I thought a lot of times especially if you get a sweep on a weekend, sometimes it involves a comeback. That was a heck of a comeback in Game 1 against Vanderbilt.
Really was, and that's kind of set the pace for Alabama. Was another solid start by Tyler Fay. Was it his best? No, but on Friday night, Tyler Fay giving you at least 6 innings. He's consistently gone deep into games, and we've talked about starting rotation, really. I mean, Alabama baseball has hung their hat on that one, and when your Friday night guy can go deep into a game where you don't have to leverage a lot of arms out of the bullpen, it just seeps through for Saturday and Sundays, and that's exactly what it did. But, yes, it was an odd game on this was a Thursday-Friday, Saturday matchup, and Vanderbilt's starter Connor Fennell was amazing. And again, this is Connor Fennell stuff. I mean, he was not your typical Vanderbilt Friday night type of guy where it was electric on the radar gun. This guy was like 88, 90 with a really good changeup, a very good breaker at like high 60. So they had Alabama off balance, and Coach Corbin decided to take him out of the game in the 6th inning. And you could see, if the game was on TV, you could see the frustration because Fennell was really rolling, only pitched 70 pitches, and then after that, the bullpen it's been shaky for Vanderbilt all year, and it's a team that is not a Coach Corbin. I think you're starting to see Vanderbilt coming back to reality, and probably this NIL is probably the worst thing of anything that's happened to Vanderbilt. But this is a team ERA that is last in the conference. That's hard to believe for a Tim Corbin.
Yeah.
Last as a squad, last in ERA, and to y'all's point, and then it got opened up. But the bats are getting better for Alabama. Eric Hines had a really good night Thursday and Friday, and Johnny Lim, both hitting home runs in those games. And then on Sunday, Alabama able to get good enough pitching by Miles Upchurch. Not his best performance, but a Jason Torres 3-run homer in the first. And they put up 5 runs in the first in that third game and were able to get the sweep. It's weird. You're looking at these SEC standings. You're going, well, Alabama, they've at the house. Listen to this one, guys. They've swept all this. They've swept or been swept in all of their home series. Swept Florida, swept Auburn, swept Vanderbilt, and they've also been swept by Arkansas. So, you're right in the driver's seat where you need to be at this point.
Well, then you look at Sunday's game as well, and one of the things that stands out to me is 0 in the errors column.
Yeah, they played good defense all weekend, I thought, David.
Yes, I think they've really needed to shore that up, and everybody's always, you point the finger, and then stats are what they are. They're last in fielding percentage in the SEC. It's not really good. They're averaging about 1.5 errors a game, and you can't. The margin of error is very, very, very small, especially in SEC games. But Alabama played collectively really well over the weekend, playing a lot more younger guys. So some errors yesterday by Eric Hines, but again, he's starting to figure it out, and I think that's where Coach Rob Vaughn is, and some of this, transfer portal and younger guys, and letting a lot more younger guys go because, the thought process is, hey, and this is not speaking to Alabama. This is across the boards. Unfortunately, you hit your wagon with these guys. You don't know what's in the wagon until you really get into SEC play. And look at teams like LSU; it just can't quite figure it out. Got 3 times the resources of a team like Alabama, and they're 9-15, can't find a win. And Coach Jay Johnson basically publicly just said, "Hey, I made some big time mistakes, and we're going to go with all the young guys." And but for Alabama, so you saw guys like Andrew Purdy play first base in Game 3 on Saturday, and no hits, but 2 really good walks, hit the ball really hard. So you're seeing a lot more freshmen play, and you're getting Peyton Steele back in the lineup, who's, don't get lost in what his average is. He's batting right around the 200 line, but he's putting together better at bats now, and he's not bringing his entire average to the plate with him. So it's really good to see. But let's make it very clear: the reason why Alabama's in contention is because of their starting pitching in Tyler Fay, Zane Adams, and Miles Upchurch.
And yet, the story of the weekend may have been the 2 long relief appearances and the one saved by Matthew Heiberger. It was tremendous seeing him come out of the pen twice. I was a little surprised they went with him as long as they did on Saturday to set up Hagan Banks to get the sweep. But I mean, Heiberger had a great weekend. He really had it going.
He did, and it's been the most electric left-handed arm out of the bullpen, and you're starting to see at this point the opportunities out of the bullpen now with only 2 weekends left. You ride or die with the guys you got, and it seems like there's about maybe 4 or 5 guys for Alabama out of the bullpen. Everybody else, it's if it's a high leverage point, it's no opportunities. You got to go with the guys that give you the best chance. And Matthew Heiberger had been up and down with some of his appearances coming into last weekend, but Thursday night went 2 2/3, but really pitched down in the zone. And the thing for Matthew Heiberger's been, we know the stuff's there, but can he control it when he comes into the game? And he did that. And it was a very aggressive Vanderbilt offense that was swinging very early. But what I mean pitching, there's a good thing of pitching to contact, but that doesn't mean you're throwing cookies right down the middle. But he was in and out, inside, outside, commanding the fastball, and the slider was really good. This is a Vanderbilt team, as bad as their pitching has been. Coach Corbin last year was last in the SEC in home runs. They're second this year with 98 home runs going into the third game. But a very offensive club that can swing the stick, had 5 or 6 guys with multi-home run, type of stats coming into the weekend, but the bullpen was very good. Matthew Heiberger, Ashton Crowther went 3 innings to spell Zane Adams on Friday, and then on Saturday, Matthew Heiberger coming back in, as y'all said, to then hand it off to Hagan Banks. So really good to see, but again, you can't do that unless your starters are giving you at least 5 or 6 innings. So I think that's the recipe moving forward. It's got to be that for Alabama for them to have a chance.
They have South Carolina this weekend. You look at the numbers, just the standings itself, you're thinking, okay, South Carolina near the bottom of the SEC, which is 7 SEC wins. But we said earlier, one of those 7 have come against Texas. I mean, they've found a way to get some wins capable. I mean, they've had some tough times as well, some injuries and just not playing well. But the South Carolina team can come in and they can snake bite you for a game or two if you let them.
Well, absolutely. I mean, any SEC team can, if you don't come in prepared, and obviously Alabama's got to go to Founders Park, which is a beautiful park. We got my junior year, we got to open it up. Well, not open it up. We were in there that opening when they opened up in 2010. Beautiful park. And it's a beautiful park and a lively park when they have fans in there. Unfortunately, it's not been the season that South Carolina and Monty Lee have wanted, and I know through all the interviews that I've seen, Monty Lee is very adamant that he does want this job. Now, we don't know how it will play out, but I will tell you that he's going to have his guys ready to go as best he can. Unfortunately, they wore it on the chin this past week in Baton Rouge. But, I mean, if you look up and down their schedule and on the SEC games, it's oddly enough, I mean, the weekend prior, they took 2 or 3 against Kentucky, where Alabama was swept by them. Every game they got swept by Mississippi State, but every single game that you see is a 1 or 2 run game. So this is a team you don't overlook, and I promise you these guys are playing, and this coach is playing for something more than just pride. These guys are playing for new opportunities now that they have a new interim in place. So there's no overlooking South Carolina, but it's a club that is last in batting average in the SEC. But again, bullpen is okay. Starting pitching's not great. It's been shaky, but if you gotta dial this up for Alabama, I mean, you're looking at this weekend going to South Carolina, and then coming back against an Ole Miss club who's played some better baseball. But you know, Alabama now with 13 SEC wins. I'll say it again. I said it on air. I've said it on TV that if Alabama, with their RPI, their strength of schedule's 3, RPI is around 5 or 6, what I saw, and you get to 16 SEC wins, you're pretty much a lock. You want to stamp it, put 17 wins on there, it's a no-doubter, but the resume speaks for itself. I think Alabama's done a really good job of scheduling, getting some wins on the road. I think it worked out really well for Alabama. You can't plan this out, but teams like Jacksonville State, South Alabama, those teams have strong RPIs, and along with Troy not playing their best baseball in the low 60, but when you play those teams when they're in the gutters, like 200-plus RPI, those actually hurt you. So it's really good that Alabama's had some strong, but the state of Alabama's had some good baseball around it.
I mean, and David, if I said this, but I want to get your opinion. If Alabama could go 3-1 this week per se, if they could win at Troy, take 2 out of 3 against South Carolina, and then win the series against Ole Miss, get to 17 SEC wins. Last year, it seemed they were 1 win away from hosting. Does 17 and 13 in the SEC get them a host?
Oh yeah, all day. I mean, I stand behind that one. I think 16. Again, if you look up and down. I mean, Auburn's ahead of Alabama right now at 14 and 10. I think they finish out with Georgia in. I think maybe is it Miss?
They're at Mississippi State and then host Georgia, so it's tough.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with those last 2. But I mean, you see the teams that are in front of them. They have a gauntlet that they've got to go into. Alabama. I'm not saying that they're. I'm up here sitting here watching up in the booth, but Alabama's got a pretty good. Landing to go prior to the SEC tournament. It's a good situation for them. It's a gettable Ole Miss team. That they can play the next weekend. But yes, I mean, I think 16, you maybe you have to have some things go right for you to host, but I think you're in a good enough position with 16 wins. 17, stamp it.
And then what did you think about because Coach, you mentioned earlier in the conversation, Coach Vaughn has made adjustments and played some younger players. He's also adjusted the batting order, and I thought it was interesting when they put Brennan Holt at the top of the lineup on Saturday. He responds with a multi-hit game and a home run that kind of iced the game and the sweep, but he's made some adjustments with the batting order.
I love it. I think that to mix it up at the top. Now, obviously, what's the main decision making there was Bryce Fowler. He's tied for first in the SEC of all players with doubles, and his average is just as good in the high 360s as when he's got runners in scoring position. So he's a great leadoff man, but the problem lies in he needed to be batting 3 or 4, and I think that's going to stay that way. I think you're going to continue to see Justin LeBron up there in that 1-2. But, yes, Brennan Holt had a really good weekend, not really a power type of hitter, but, I mean, he's really setting the table getting on base. And I think I don't see them changing that part of the lineup. Eric Hines is going to stay in the lineup. I think he gives Alabama a power threat each and every night. You're going to live with the strikeouts. I've watched the Ole Miss game, and I played for Coach Mike Bianco starting out from high school. I mean, it's one of those where 20 years ago, oh man, it's wild to think, when I was coming out of high school, that striking out or even worse, taking called third strike. I mean, those were opportunities for at any point anybody in the lineup in the SEC. If you do it twice in a game, you're probably getting yanked out of the game. In today's world, Ole Miss lead the SEC in strikeouts, but if you look at their walks and home runs, they're right up there at the top. And I think that's the changing of how this game has gone. The odds of you getting 3 hard hits in an inning are down tremendously. It's just pitching is just so much better top to bottom, and so you're living with big innings, and I think you're starting to see that, and then how extrapolate that. Now you see so many teams sweeping, and then you see teams getting swept, but guys are batting in, the new 300 is probably 240, 250 now, but a bunch of home runs and a bunch of strikeouts.
No doubt. Well, David, continue the great work. We enjoy listening to you and Roger, and you guys do a great job. And I know you do some stuff with Chris Stewart as well on the TV side. But great stuff. Crimson Tide hot right now. Hopefully they can continue that momentum over to Troy tomorrow and then on the road to South Carolina. But we look forward to catching up with you before the SEC tournament, and thank you for the time.
Scott and Drew, appreciate it.
Thanks. Let's get a break in. We're going to wrap all of this up next.
Oh, good.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
We're studying game film,
Seems to me there's more to college than just hitting the books.
scribbling X's and O's, even running wind sprints to get our voices in shape. All this for our coverage of college football just for you.
Just leave it to the professionals.
From spring drills to hoisting the national championship trophy. When you want football, you want 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
You know, I hear that commercial getting ready for college football. We're just a little over 2 months away from convening in Tampa, Florida for SEC Media Days. And I tell you, it's going to be fun. You know, a year ago we were talking about all the coaches that were back, and it's going to be just, you know, oh-hum. But this year in July in Tampa, going to have to wear a name tag because we got a few new coaches in the league.
Or we may have to go to the strip clubs and find Lane Kiffin.
or a sorority house.
Yeah, something. I'd say in Tampa it's probably strip clubs though.
Well,
from what I hear, I've never been there before.
You could do some hot yoga with them.
There you go. There you go. You go to the waters. All right. We'll convene tomorrow morning.